Happy Tuesday, everybody. Oh, yeah. It's sunny. It's nice. It's lovely. It's Tuesday. And I think it's what, 6:11, the closest you can get to 7 feet, three away from 9/11. Hello, Bobby.
Hey, what's going on? That would be a fun restaurant. 6-Eleven instead of 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
Just run by Pakistanis.
6:11. Or it's just run by giant men.
Oh, I don't like that. Be a terrible store.
Just men who didn't make it to the NBA but were tall anyway. Like, here's Sean Bradley bringing your ribs. It's like, we 7'6". It's like, yeah, we're not going to call it 7'6". The 76ers would sue us. We're 6'11".
There wouldn't be anybody over the age of 52 working at that store.
Nope. Unless he was Dikembe Mutombo. That'd be about it. But he's like, he just tells you when your reservations aren't any good. So,
I think he lied on his birth certificate too. I think homie's only 35. They just don't age well.
oh, you think that a guy who was plucked out of Africa because he was a tall baby might have a little bit of fibbing on his birth certificate?
I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility, Pat. I don't
I
want to
don't
come
think there was
across
a
as
doctor involved in his birth. I'll even push it that far. I'll say I don't even think there was a hospital.
you know what? I think the doctor told his mom to mix the lime with the coconut and mix it all up.
Yeah, that song. I don't think you can make that one now.
Which doctor?
You put the lime in the coconut, you mix it all. Like that voice too. It's like, yo.
Yeah, and that's not a black guy.
No.
No,
No, that
that's
was me.
somebody like Pat doing the voice.
Oh, I thought you meant just now. I'm like, no, that was me, Bobby. I didn't want to surprise you. That was all
No,
me.
I meant in the witch doctor song. It's not like it's their culture.
I know I'm talented, but that was me, dude. I was killing it.
We just have Denzel Washington on the pod.
Yeah, we did. He's smooth as butter. So, how was your Monday evening?
Monday evening wasn't bad. I went for a nice run. Watched stuff something about Oscar Pistorius.
Oh, I saw that was on something. Is that any good?
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to
Kind of
watch the
gross.
one. They're putting out too many documentaries. Documentaries about people. The people need to do more. And I feel awful saying that, seeing that Oscar Pistorius literally has no legs and has super robot legs. And I'm like, I need more. Like, that is great. I know I'm in the Olympics. I need more. I murdered my wife. I need more. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I already know the story.
Did he murder his wife?
I don't know. I made that part
No,
up.
I
There was some.
I'm legit. It seemed like in the show they were setting it up in the first episode to be like, uh, oh, look, the media made it seem so everybody thinks he murdered his wife, but it was truly accidental manslaughter. It's like I didn't get it to the end. It got to the point where he was walking around on his stumps, and then like that got kind of gross. Nobody wants to see no
Yeah.
legs.
Nobody wants stumps. Everyone, you're there for the blades.
And then I had ran, and it took me like 33 minutes to do my 5K. And then you're watching a man with no legs sprint, and you're like, well, I should probably find a new hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you're like, I'm never gonna beat the most handicapped man of all times. It's something. That's why I stopped being smart. When Stephen Hawking came out, and I was like, you know what? No point. I'm never, even if I am as smart as him, which I am, of course, I'll just never be in a fun package like super crippled. So like, what's the point?
Yeah, my thing with Stephen Hawking though is you could just unplug his wheelchair, and you'd be out. You'd be able to outdo him.
I think I talked about this the other day with Nick Mullins' bit on him. Is one of my favorite fucking bits. It's so good.
I literally
I
was scrolling through Instagram, and that bit came up, and I watched the whole thing just because of
yeah.
it. Like I've seen it before, and every time.
The one yesterday, I've been putting a bunch of comic stuff in my stories lately on Instagram. Just I see it, and I'm like, oh, people should. I don't think other people watch good stand-up clips. They just watch the ones that are shoved down their throat in TikTok. So like Nick Mullen, people like that. So he had one yesterday that was with the alopecia. Have you seen that?
No.
So he goes, do you think that was a disease that was named after somebody that had it? And he's like, it's me, alopecia Washington. And I'm working for Verizon Wireless, and I'm hairless. And this is my sister leukemia, and we are the hidden figures of hair disease. I was like, holy
Oh, dude,
I
Mullins,
shared that.
man.
I put that in my stories, and Nick Mullen liked that I put it in my stories. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That he pays
Oh,
attention and shit.
fuck yeah,
Sometimes.
let's
So,
get Nick
sweet.
on.
Well, I think he probably just like anyone who did it. Probably thinks I'm a retarded boy in a basement, like the rest of his fan base. It's like,
I mean, We are retarded boys, like the rest of his fan base.
But I'm upstairs, baby. Yeah.
You and me both. We're Anne Franken, and I'm up in the attic.
I made it upstairs for now. I'll be downstairs soon enough. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It always ends back to downstairs. It's a good time. Yeah, but I tried to watch a documentary the other day on the Carters, Nick and Aaron Carter. And it was like a whole thing. They're going to break down all the allegations on Nick with all the women that have been accused of all the shit throughout the years, all the story about Aaron. I couldn't get through the first. There's like, you know how they do them in episodes now?
Yeah.
First of all, when you see at the beginning, none of the Carters are going to talk in this. You're like, oh, okay. It's a piece to go again. Now, this obviously seems like this girl, if she is going, they're saying that one girl's going to be suing him, but I don't think her lawyers would be pumped that she's saying all this shit on a show first. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
no,
it is allegedly, she's saying it like fact, but like, it was just like this woman that was in a group. There was this, you might remember this group. There was a girl group called Dream.
Yeah.
And the blonde girl from it, that was like the religious one, whatever. I guess he fucking basically tried to like rape her. He put himself inside her for like 1 second and said, she goes, "What is that?" And he goes, "That's all me, baby."
I mean, like, he didn't even get raped by NSYNC.
No, but he was such a star. He like ordered her. He's like, "I want that one." And then she's like, "I don't like this. This is uncomfortable." And then she like kind of quit singing because they want to make her sexy. So, but she wanted to pursue acting. And so she got picked in some role in some like weird ass movie. And of course, who's part of the movie? Nick Carter. And he's like, "Yeah, now you're in my movie. Let's go hang out." You know, and so
Oh my God.
she came over to watch to listen to some music he had. And then he was just trying to like kiss her, and he dragged her into a bathroom with all the security guards around and stuff, and then started like making her like jerk him off and stuff, and kept kissing her, and she's like all froze, and he only got like one thing in, whatever. She was like, "Oh my God!" So that it's a legend, but it's like, what the fuck?
Do you know what happened next? He ran into the rest of the Backstreet Boys and was like, I got a new song. I never want to hear you say no. They're like, I think we need to. No,
that way.
That's what one of the other guys was like. We could put that back in, but his was just, I never want to hear you say no.
Nice, yeah. Well, she was like no, and he's like, come on,
Come on.
But it's like and it's not saying I don't believe. Oh, by the way, we were watching it. At one point, he goes, "You want to hear my latest song?" Supposedly he said, and I just yelled out, "It's called Sit on My Face." That'd be a great song. If you just blatant with it, it's like, "Touch My Dick's my new single."
Who would be that excited to hear pop music too?
She didn't seem like she was excited to be there at all. It was all the agents and managers and everybody at that time, it makes sense. It sounds silly now, but at that time it is true. It was so big to have the boy band and girl band, or like pop stars, like kind of dating with Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson, and who was the other? There was the other big one. Oh, but
Justin and Brittany.
Well, Justin and Brittany kind of, they weren't out in the public eye much, but there was you remember Diddy was even dating like J-Lo then, like they were pairing them all off and like putting them all over the place, and so like, which is crazy. Who's crazier in that? Diddy and J-Lo now is like two maniacs.
Yeah, that would be fucking nuts.
Even
Also,
then,
it's
they must have
crazy.
been nuts.
Diddy never tried to blow up A-Rod's car like he did Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, I don't think he really cared about the J-Lo thing. And just like Ben Affleck running away now and getting the divorce, I don't think anyone really ever cares. They're just trying to merge brands at that point. There's no when you're that big, there's no marriage. You're merging brands.
Dude, thank God they don't do that with comedy.
Like, I mean, they try.
You and I would end up with fucking Hannah Gadsby.
Oh no! I mean, not even just one of us. They'd be like, POS, you're dating Hannah Gadsby. Like, oh no.
She's like, I'm a lesbian. We're like, we're lesbians too.
Yeah. Yeah, speak English, stupid.
I do find a flaw with your story, Anna, in that you might be so ugly you're unrapeable.
Unrapeable, that's what you are. Then the daughter comes out, he's unrapeable. Now try it in the car. Women are not fun. We didn't say they had to be funny. We just said they had to be dateable, Kevin.
Or pair offable even.
Yeah, there's always once in a while you hear about couples. Like, there was a couple. They weren't like big, but like there was a couple that was like going around New York and New England, all that stuff. I forget their fucking names, but they would take turns like headlining on weekends and stuff. But they wouldn't talk about how they were married. It was funny because then one would go up and talk about how awful their husband is and shit on him. He's just standing there waiting to go up, and then he'd go up and talk about his stupid bitch of a wife, and then she's sitting there like. They were in the car like, hey, I like your new bit. Walk like an Epstein.
Similar tribe, different last name.
I tried. You said you had a story before we talked. You said, I want to kick this off with something because you had a morning adventure.
Oh, yeah. So, as you know, I like to get up, go for a quick walk, hit the gas station, deal with all the high school kids, and then eat a donut before the show, and grab my chewing tobacco. I like to chew what's called pouches. They have the tobacco rolled into a nice little pouch, and you just set it in your lip. It's not in. Well, the high school kids had a line out the door at the gas station. And I've been to that gas station a lot. There's nothing worth waiting in a line out the door for there. So I walked to a different gas station that was out of pouches. I got loose cut. They didn't have my brand. So I was like, you know what Shane chews? Skull. I'll choose Skull. So I went to pack it. And Pat, have you ever just thrown a can of dip all over your room? Because the lid was not on all the way. And now my entire room is covered in apple long cut tobacco. And by entire,
Does it
I
smell
mean like,
nice?
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
It's the apple is fake, so it's like real in your nose, and literally my entire floor is now covered in black, like someone burned the house down. I didn't realize there was that much tobacco in a can, dude. So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it me for having a nicotine dependence? Is it the old guy for working mornings at the gas station? The young kids, Kite and Rafa, they got all those high school kids in and out. 10 seconds. This old guy hates his job and takes it out on the customer by going painfully slow. Is it the other gas station? Everybody in the world chews pouches. You ever heard of Zyn? It's kind of a big fucking deal right now. Don't make me chew long cut. Or is it me for trying to pack my tobacco, and since I haven't done it in a while, I threw it all over the room? We'll kick it to you first, Pat, since we don't have a guest today.
It's not you because of your addiction. That's not fair to blame that for getting an addiction. Addictions happen. That's one of the hardest addictions there is. It's harder to quit that.
Yeah, I'm hard as a motherfucker.
Yeah, my dad smoked all throughout my child years, and then when I got to be like a teenager, he quit, and he always tells people they should quit the way he did. And people are like, "Hey, well, how's that? Is it easy? Do you have to go like with a patch or something?" He's like, "No. I just got adult chicken pox and was put in the hospital for 3 weeks and couldn't smoke a cigarette. So when I got out, I didn't smoke anymore. Just do that. Yeah, just get shingles. Then you can quit. Thanks for the advice, Chief." Anyway, so it's like I've never smoked a cigarette a day in my life because I didn't want a shitty story like that. But anyway, it's not you for that. I guess I have to ask the question because I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about cigarettes. I really know nothing about chewing tobacco. Is it like food where there's a 5-second rule, or because it hit the ground you can't use this?
There would be a 5-second rule if it wasn't a carpeting.
Okay, but it's not like tobacco can hit the like if I dropped a nug of weed and it hit just a regular clean wooden floor, I'd pick the nug of weed up and I would use the weed. I wouldn't be. But if I dropped like a chicken nugget on a carpet with hair on it, you think about it, but then you don't eat the chicken nugget. You know, what I mean? Depending on how high you are, depending if you had a nug first, I guess, before the nug.
Exactly how high you are.
Right. Yeah. But like in regular style, okay. Well, it's not all over the place, but I know what you're saying. I figured it was like you meant like covered and smothered, but no, it's not bad.
It's not good.
It happens, but I'm not gonna blame the old man. The old man, you say, is doing this because he hates the job, whatever. Maybe that's just his style. Like I watch a lot of wrestling, and some people are like Randy Orton's boring because he's methodical. But I like the fact that he's methodical. I like when pitchers in baseball sometimes take their time and sit in their they can't really do that anymore with the fucking speed clock and all that. And that's fine. To me, the piece of shit are the young folks. speeding up, going through, not building relationships, not fucking talking. I know you don't mind that, but I bet you the old man, even though it's not a good conversation, is having a conversation. You know what I mean? What happened to the good old days when you had a broken conversation with an old Indian man and you had no idea what the fuck he was saying, but you walked away nodding, feeling good about your white self because you feel like you contributed. Even though probably he was asking for help and saying there's a guy with a gun in the back. You're like, oh yeah, that's real nice. Because you can't understand. He's like, no, you're like, I don't know. But nowadays, the young kids, they're talking normal. They're saying the N-word and they're rapping. It's like, I don't even know where I am anymore. So it's the young kids for trying to be cool and hip and fast and not being old and slow and racist.
I could see that. Now I will say I know the young guys because they're the ones who have actually made an effort. Like I know their names are Raja and Kite. We talk all
Well, to
the
you,
time.
because you look like someone they can deal shit to.
Oh, absolutely. And Kite always tells me, he's like, you don't need to work out. You're already
Kite?
jacked. Yeah, that's his
Like
name,
the
Kite.
flying thing? Kite?
Yep. I'm pretty sure.
I like it. Me too. I'm always, when I meet people, I'm like, when they're Indian, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure his name is Bobby Boop. Like, are you sure it's Bobby Boop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Bobby Boop.
I know Raja's name is Raja because I went, oh, the king. Like, you're the king of this store. And he looked up at the cameras and went, no, just employee. And I was like, oh, shit, they don't fuck around here.
No.
But for me, the piece
No.
of shit's the old man. Just die. No, I'm kidding. It's me.
Just die.
It's me. I'm going to die if I don't stop chewing tobacco. I could have had a better story than this to start my day if I didn't need to run to the gas station for some. And as Kish pointed out, losing half your tongue isn't fun. Losing all your tongue, not fun.
Is that a song?
No, Kish
Losing
put
half your tongue isn't fun. Losing half your tongue isn't grand.
Isn't that what happened to that dude from that band? He ate that woman out and then he lost half his tongue.
V saying, oh, everyone should always work out. You can always go harder.
Like Kanye said.
Yeah. And how priests say to young boys, you could always be harder. Come on, go, Peter.
No.
Yeah, do it. Do it in the butt. Well, I'm sorry you had. Well, okay, I guess we can ask you who you think the piece of shit is, but I think we know who we. When any story involves you nominating yourself as a piece of shit, it's you.
Yeah, it's me.
You don't.
I should just quit chewing. Should be a better human.
But
should be a better man.
Yeah, I don't get up and do that. I make coffee, but if I spilled all the coffee on the floor, I'd be bummed.
I'm not letting life get me down today. I learned an important quote, Pat. You can't control the wind, but you know what you can do? Set your sails.
Can. Was that Columbus?
No, it was some kid I saw on Instagram. It was like 4 who explained that meant you can't handle what life throws at you, but you can handle how you respond to it. And me, I'm going to respond with a smile today.
But I think, and you know what? Smiles are good. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to say something that's making me happy. You know how sometimes with like TikTok trends and things like that, a song or a quote or something will come up and you're like, usually you're like, oh, I don't know what that is. Then you look it up and go, oh, cool. That song's from this thing or whatever. But sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes there's a quote or a thing happening on TikTok that becomes a big trend and you're like, oh shit. The thing that I've been enjoying for a while somehow made it into this zeitgeist, into this world, and now it's big, and it's fun to watch that like have a positive effect. You ever see that?
Oh, absolutely. It just happened with an ABBA song for me.
Okay, so the young kids didn't know what it was. It came up and that kind of thing. You know what? That happened years ago with Weezer when all the kids were doing the sweater song thing. Not that I was a huge Weezer guy, but it was kind of cool that Ashley and Seamus were like, hey, who's Weezer? And I'm like, oh, I've actually seen them live before. And then we have a whole conversation. They're like, oh, that's crazy. They're like, we didn't even know it was a real band.
Well, let me tell you this. The singer looks just like Buddy Holly.
Yeah, yes. Ooh, and I'm Mary Tyler Moore. And he's from Connecticut, Rivers Cuomo. So it's like, that always helps too. Yeah, some little bougie area. We don't really claim him much except when he comes around. That's about it. But as people know here on the podcast, I'm a big fan of wrestling. And there's been this independent wrestler for a long time who's been in Europe and all that. And now is here in a smaller league. They're on TV a little bit, but not big, called TNA. and they used to be called Impact Wrestling. And a lot of the big stars have come through there and stuff like that. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, people like that. At one point, that was the league that all the WCW people way back in the day first spun into when they had nowhere to go and all that. And it's still been going on for years and years and years, but with different people owning and stuff like that. So what they do is they usually take on people that are basically on the cusp, like almost like a minor league baseball thing. They either go AEW, WWE, they're building their characters up. And there's this one man named Joe Hendry. And I've loved Joe Hendry because he used to be known as like the working man. And he used to like make up his own song. Now I like when a wrestler puts on their own thing and like something, they don't just buy into whatever. They do all their own work. And this guy really was doing that. He made this whole song and he would make these videos up when he come out. And he would come out to like We Will Rock You, but he had his own words about Joe Hendry. And the crowds would chant. It was silly and dumb, but it was fun. And then he started working on this like motivational, like TED Talky character. But it was like supposed to be kind of douchey, but it was so likable with it. And he made his own song. And it would say his name and he will appear. And then someone would say Joe Hendry. And the song would come on and he goes, its whole song is called I Believe in Joe Hendry. And he starts like clapping and he made this video with like a drone where he's in Scotland and he's from Scotland originally. And he's posing in front of like the greens and he's got this blonde hair and it's this corny ass song about believing in yourself and being Joe Hendry. And about like 2 months ago, for some reason, somebody must have seen it and said, this is silly and dumb, and used it as a background to something. It's gone insane on TikTok. But the best part is watching the duets and the stitches and things of people going, who is Joe Hendry? Most of them don't know what it's from, but they just see this video that he made up. It's the greatest video ever. Like, we could probably pull it, but at this point, it's so big, we'd probably get like struck. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever, because it's everywhere. But it's an amazing thing to see that. Now, what's even bigger is right now, Joe Hendry, like I said, is in TNA. TNA has just started having like this quote unquote relationship with the WWE. Triple H has started to allow, Vince never did this, but he's starting to allow wrestlers from other leagues while they're still on their contract come back and forth by making deals. He'll be like, hey, listen, if we could have your champion right now who's pretty hot come here, so he can also get to see them and maybe possibly sign them when their contract's done. I have some older guys that, I'm not really utilizing at the moment, but if they showed up at your small place, everybody would go ape shit. And so they're kind of been doing a back and forth, which is a kind of cool business thing. They just did this with this woman, Jordana Grace, who's like this jacked, like super strong lady, and she was just wrestling in an NXT show. This Saturday, the WWE is in Scotland, and it's Clash of the Castle, and everyone is abuzz like, is this gonna happen? In this place with like 12 to 13,000 packed out, excited because the pay-per-view, besides last year, there's never been pay-per-views. They just started doing this yearly in Scotland. These fuckers get so drunk, like for a soccer game, and they sing along and clap. Dude, if all of a sudden out of nowhere you just hear, it's say his name and he will appear, you will see the biggest sing-along of drunken Scottish people clapping and losing their minds over a man who probably won't wrestle. He'll probably just come out, stand there, wave, and then, because he's not wrestling with them right now. There's no match set up in this baby, and then just leave. And I can't wait for that. Now, if it doesn't happen, I will be a little heartbroken, upset. But this guy, he's even been doing interviews and saying how insane it is that he just put the extra work. It's kind of cool to see a guy put in this extra work and it like become a thing where now he's been a wrestler like everyone else, but it's that one dumb thing. It's kind of like when comedians get big, comedians that are really good, but then get bigger when they do figure out TikTok or the algorithms and all that. And some people get mad at that. I don't. I'm like, if you figure out the game and you're still doing your game, I get it. I don't like the guys who don't work on the comedy and just work on the TikTok. And then when they get there, like, oh, your comedy sucks though. You don't even deserve it. But it's the guys who fucking are still put the work in, but then figure out the ways to climb that ladder. And it's kind of cool to watch that. So yeah, I believe in Joe Hendry. And if you haven't checked out that video, you should check. It's fucking, when he starts playing electric guitar for no reason in his video, you gotta watch it. It's fucking amazing.
Is this the guy? He was in the ring and the whole crowd started chanting. There is a video like that, singing his song. Was that Joe Hendry?
Well, no, I mean that happens a lot.
But it was Scotland too. That's why I was curious.
Was that Scotland or was that France? Because 2 months ago that happened with AJ Styles and it wasn't his song. They said phenomenal, and he calls himself the phenomenal one. And they're in France. There's some kind of song at party when you get drunk that you sing, "You are phenomenal," and it's all in French. So it wasn't even about AJ. They were just singing their dumb French song.
Well, that's dumb. Like the French
Yeah,
people in
it kind of
general.
like people said it looked cool. It kind of ruined it because they were trying to do like a promo thing back and forth, and they couldn't because French idiots were just singing.
That French do ruin pretty much everything.
And
That's
the
what I've
English
always
do
said.
that too at wrestling. When there's a girl Bailey and they go,
Big Bailey
there,
fan.
there's a Beatles song that they sing. I forget what it is, but they threw her name in. Oh, won't you be my girl? Oh, that's not Beatles. But hey, Bailey, ooh,
Ah,
oh, and they do that every time she does anything, but it's not even part of the match. And like, she was supposed to be a bad guy while they're singing that. She's like giving them the thumbs down. She's trying her hardest to not love the fact they're singing for her, but they're not really singing for her. They're just like taking over the show, but whatever. But
and
it'd
the
be
issue
cool if
with
that guy made it
Bailey
through.
is when she tries to be angry, it just comes across as cute.
Not anymore. Not in the last year or so.
Oh no.
She's finally figured it out. She got a group of little Asian girls that have her back in this badass group, and then it worked out. And now she's a good guy again because they turned on her. That was the big WrestleMania moment. Like it was pretty cool. But we'll get away from the wrestling thing as we lose everyone. It's like no, I'm kidding. We're not losing everyone, but they're not happy with that. But let's get to. We just talked about two happy things. They smiles on faces, things like that. Well, how about people that are just angry and mean? You like angry and mean?
A lot of people would say that describes me.
Well, and this also feels like something you on both sides would do. But
Okay.
only reason why you wouldn't do one side is because you're not a dad yet. But
Yet.
that's the only thing that would change this. Dad sucker punches comedian on stage over sexualized joke about his baby son. Have you heard this story?
I've seen the video.
Yeah. If you haven't, it's a wild video. It shows a Spanish dad sucker punching a comedian on stage for making a vile sexualized joke about his 3-month-old son on social media prior to the show. The comedian, it says Jamie, but I'm sure it's Jaime because it's Spanish, whatever.
Yeah.
Jaime Caravaca was in the middle of his set in Madrid on Monday night when the enraged dad, Alberto Pucolito, abruptly stormed the stage and pummeled him in the head. The onstage violence erupted with Caravaca had responded to a photo on that Pucolito, a right-wing activist and musician. I like how right-wing activist is first, musician second. Had posted of his baby over the weekend on X with the caption, "Pride and Joy." Now, Bobby, did you see what the comedian wrote underneath?
No, I literally just saw the punch and was like, "You trying to fuck my daughter?" or whatever he yelled.
Well, yeah, but okay, so first of all, it's a son. Second of all, it's literally 2 months old. And as you know, sometimes you'll see a picture and you want to write a troll thing, but you're like, that's a little much. All right. The quote from this comedian, hilarious comedian, is nothing and no one can prevent the possibility that he is gay. And when he grows up, he gets tired of sucking black cock. That is insane to write under a baby's photo.
Yeah, a lot. That's a lot.
Kavaka tweeted and since deleted screenshot. Oh, really? You think he had to take it down? I know it's probably out of translation, but like that's wild to even speak in the way he did. It's almost like AI was told to make fun of a baby.
Oh God. Like it's one thing to attack his dad, but the kid hasn't done anything wrong yet.
But also it wasn't like the dad and him were arguing. The comic just saw a post of a guy saying proud father. So then Puglito, the father, quickly fired back. He goes, I assure you that you are going to apologize for what you said about my 3-month-old son. And you will discover that real life is not Twitter. And once again, feels like, I know it's translation, but it feels like scripted almost.
Yeah, it's almost like the wrestling you were talking about.
Yeah, kind of what I was
feels kind of like that back and forth. Yeah.
Kind of what I'm going to be hinting to pretty soon when I talk about my piece of shit. And I think this is, no, I'm happy you call out to that. I don't think this is real. Following through with his threat, Puglito was then filmed jumping on stage during Caravaca's monologue and landing the blow. Do you think my son was going to eat a black man's dick at 3 months? Why would you yell that while punching someone? And not everyone in the audience knows what happened. That's crazy.
He, at one point during the beating, stops and turns to the audience and is like, I'm sorry, you don't know what's going on, but he deserves this.
What now? Tell me to my face. Hear it now, he added. It wasn't immediately clear if Puglito would face charges over the caught on camera saga. The comedian later addressed the onstage attack, tweeting that he'd received death threats. What was intended to be a joke. Like, I thought the young comics all the time, they yell out something like, fuck that bitch. I'm like, that's not a punchline. They're like, whoa, you laugh. I go, they're shocked. It's not laughter. It's different. Write a punchline. Be clever. You just wrote, there's no way that kid's not going to be gay and suck black dick. It's crazy. It's not a joke.
No.
Like, if the kid was wearing a RuPaul t-shirt, then yes, I would go, oh, there's no way that kid's not gonna grow up to suck black cock and be gay, because it's you put a RuPaul t-shirt on it. You're kind of making fun of the choice they did to go, here's a black gay thing, and you're gonna be one too. But just hanging out with your dad, unless the dad was like, I love two things so much, my son and black cock. Then he's like, well, like father, like son. Then you'd get the joke. But there was no black cock at the beginning.
The only thing I could think is because he's so alt-right. Like, that they put that before musician. Is it possible?
Yeah, Spanish alt-right.
Yeah, they don't like gay. They're even more conservative than
Spanish
Americans.
love gay. Puerto Ricans hate gay. Conquistador is gay, dude.
Yeah, but not conservative ones. They get real Roman Catholic.
Conservador?
A conservator. Oh, shit.
Yeah, they hate it. All right. What was intended to be a joke was ultimately an unfortunate and not at all appropriate comment on my part. My apologies to anyone who feels affected, he said. Let's put violence aside and leave a good world for people to grow free. Puglito quickly responded to the post, saying he accepted the comedian's apology. I defend freedom of expression in the same way that I defend the right to respond. I do not wish you any harm, and I hope this helps others understand that children are sacred. All the best, he tweeted. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it the comedian for writing what he thought was a hilarious joke, a troll, like a lot of people out there watching this? Their guys troll it up and stuff. You know what I mean? And you think you're not thinking because you're behind the keyboard. You don't ever think there's going to be repercussions, but sometimes there are. You know what I mean? And maybe you shouldn't write things about babies. You can write about I don't think if you don't know a person, you should write anything underneath. I mean, the trolling, it is what it is. It can be funny at times, but I don't know, back in the day when I was like in middle school and stuff, as much as I would get bullied sometimes, I also bullied back. That's the way you did it. There was nothing better than when you said a thing and you saw how it like hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like you said this one thing about somebody and you had a good enough insult that it especially when I went to an all black school for 1 year, when you would trade the barbs back and forth with people like that, and like somebody would shit on you. Like I always just got anything white. And I was able to make fun of like very specific things. And also it was fun. I did have help because when you are the young and black, you don't know all the white stereotypes that we have for you. So these things that would just be like corny, I could just throw out there like, what? We do all do that. Why you keep saying all I drink is grape soda and grape soda comes out of my shower fountains and grape soda comes out of my water hose. Oh, not my water hose, my fire hydrant because I can't afford a water hose. Like they're like, oh shit. Like I was like,
you're going all in.
My grape soda. I had a big grape soda bit for a while when I was 14. It's like, but anyway, it was fun to go back and forth and do that, but also see their faces. You talk your shit, whatever. You might be a little butthurt, but you act like you weren't, and you act like friends at the end, whatever you do. Here, when you're just doing it online and saying your baby is going to be gay and it will suck all the black cock, it's not fun to write on Twitter or X or whatever. It's and now is it also Spain? I didn't know that they had a comedy scene that was so close where somebody could just be on Twitter and just literally find where the comedy show is, conveniently get there, punch them in the face, and have a back and forth and talk all about it, letting you know that comedy can be crazy and anything can happen at a comedy club. Almost like if there was a comedy promoter, he was like, hey, what if we stage this whole thing so people come to the shows for the outrageous comedian? What do you think, alt-right guy? Will you do it? He's like, sure. He's like, do you have a baby? He's like, nah, but I can pretend I have one and you can write black cock about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but this feels the scripting, the wording, the way that was resolved so fast, the way it was like, we should all learn to not be as mean on Twitter. Was this like a G.I. Joe afterwards? That's what it felt like. The more you know, where it's like, here's a life lesson after the fucking punch. The guy, he just let it go. How do you just let it go? You took off to this comedy club, you started hitting him and flipping the fuck out. Now you're cool. Like somebody lock that guy up. You know what I mean? So is it the comedian for that? Is it the baby? Maybe the baby's putting out weird vibes. I don't know. I didn't really look at the picture, but the baby might be like, hey, look at me. I'm gay. Like, baby, what are you doing? Who's the piece of shit in this story?
Um, the first piece of shit would be me, because when I saw this video and heard Spanish, I just assumed Mexico, because that's where this type of thing would happen on a regular basis, right?
Yeah,
Like
that
this
would just be all
feels like
Mexican.
a barrio type fight, not a Spanish well-to-do.
Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you might be onto something. Um, if someone insults your son to the point you feel like you should be violent, I don't like a day later forgiving the guy on Twitter.
Same.
Just like if you're attacked by someone who you offended enough that they felt the need to attack you and you let them whip your ass. Pat, has anybody ever charged the stage on you?
Yeah.
And you got away, right?
No.
Or what did you do?
We fought.
And that's kind of my point. You didn't just stand there and get punched, kind of slapped like a pussy in the
Well,
corner.
well, I think I've told this story. It wasn't. I wouldn't say a fight, but I was my first year. I was at a bar thing where there's someone put together a comedy show, but the comedy show was in this bar right after they had a benefit for a guy who regular at the bar for 30 years who was dying of cancer. They didn't tell us that was going to be happening first. They had all these pictures up of the guy in worse times, whatever. And then they actually, but at the end of the benefit, wheeled this fucker in a wheelchair with like all the hoses and shit. And he had no hair and it was all terrible and stuff. And then it kind of ran late. And then afterwards, they're like, let's start the comedy show right now. There's people here. And I'm like, can we just wait a half hour? Let's let these people leave. They don't really seem like they're in a good time. They're not really here for the show. He's like, I go, some people are here for the show. He's like, no. I want the big crowd. I want to keep them. So you're all right. So I'm going up and I'm trying to do it. They're just talking and talking. They're all behind talking to this guy. They're getting up from their seats. They're not listening. I'm trying whatever. And it's like, and I did not mean this to in this day. I will say that I did not mean this fuck up my wording. But I meant to say, I know you just had a cancer benefit, but I said cancer festival. I don't know why I said cancer festival, but I said cancer festival. It would sound like nothing most time, but to drunk people that were getting ready to be upset no matter what, I think all the people they were already like, if any comedian says one thing about him, we're gonna fight. I think they already had that mentality. So this one guy who looked like Smash Mouth, he had like the fucking dumb hat and the button-down shirt, and he was just like, "That's my fucking uncle. He's the greatest man of all fucking times. I'm fucking gonna kill you." I go, "Easy, Smash Mouth." I yelled that out loud, thinking somebody would stop at some point, but he starts running towards the stage. And when he got close, I could tell. So I put the mic down and he went to swing, but he was so drunk that he like missed and literally his pinky just hit my nose. And that was
Aw.
it. So I went back to go like hit him. And that's when a bunch of people came and like 5 or 6 guys were standing behind him, 3 guys holding knives. And then I feel like these tiny little hands pull me back. And there was one small lesbian woman there. And she was the only person that had my back in the situation. So it's me and a tiny Boston lesbo against like 6 fucking clam chowder eating pieces of shit. And they're fucking all there like ready to fight. And then the owner pops in and goes, hey, settle down. And I'm like, dude, they have knives. He goes, yeah, we all have knives. I go, where the fuck am I? And he's like, well, maybe don't talk about the kid. I go, don't maybe not have the cancer guy in a comedy show.
Yeah,
What do you
those
think
two
is gonna
don't
happen? I go, fuck this. And he goes, well, just go back up and finish. I go, what? He goes, yeah, finish your set. And then bring up the next guy. I go, there's no finishing the set. But I had to go back up and like finish the set. And then the Smash Mouth guy passed out in a chair halfway through. So I'm happy the Smash Mouth guy is dead. I don't know that guy, but when Smash Mouth guy died, to me, I'm like, I felt better. But I know it wasn't him that did it. But I still blame the actual band Smash Mouth.
Wait, Smash Mouth is dead?
The guy.
No way.
He died like a year ago.
Is he walking on sunshine?
Not anymore.
He's walking in hell. But my point is that almost turning to deliver the fist after he
He'd rather
missed
be
your
walking
nose.
on the sun. That's the song.
Walking on this. I was thinking
Might as well be walking on the sun.
that's right. I just didn't want to do all star like a douche. But right when you were like this and they stopped you, that's the difference between you and the comedian I've seen in this video. Is he just let the guy come up, bully him, like either run, use the mic stand as a keeping distance type tool, poke check, slap check, or
Right.
engage, meet halfway. I've never been charged, but the security guard I work with, Christian, and I have a sign. It's like, hey, I've had a bad day. Let me handle this one, Christian. Or this guy looks big. You come in and intervene. For that very like, be ready. I don't know. I think you nailed it with it being fake. Like,
Oh,
if
V wants to make sure we understand that Steve Harwell is the name of the Smash Mouth guy.
what is? Oh, he's the one that's walking on the sun.
He's the one that's walking on the sun. Hey, now you're a dead guy. You're not alive now. Get your game on. Go play.
Go attack Pat Oates at his comedy
All
show.
that's living's not old.
Yeah,
Or the guy who sang one of the better Shrek songs. That's what he's known as. Smash Mouth is
and
not
I
a
saw
great
her
band,
face.
V. Yeah.
Now
Yeah, that
I'm
was
a
even them.
believer.
You don't cover the Monkeys. Fuck you, Smash Mouth.
I really wish the monkey song they had chosen to cover would have been "Hey Hey We're the Monkeys."
Yeah.
Because then people could be
we're
like,
the
"No, you're
Smash
not."
Mouth. We say we smashing around. We're too busy smashing. Put anybody down. That could be a song for like the kids nowadays for like trying to get laid. They love to say smash.
I hated it, but I kind of like it now that you've explained that it's about fucking.
Or if it was about smash burgers.
Ooh, do you think you
See?
could get away with having a band called the Monkeys in this day and age,
Yes.
full of 4 white dudes?
Yes.
Really?
No, but I'm gonna keep saying this until somebody does it.
Okay, I think you're right. I think that would be the biggest thing ever today.
Yeah. Right now, yeah. It would be huge if 4 white kids maybe dressed up like monkeys and saying we're the new monkeys.
Hey, hey, we're the new monkeys, and we're
People
just
say
new
we're blackfaced
monkeying around.
around. But they're fun. So
So for me, the piece of shit is probably that it's fake, but mainly the comedian and the dad.
in the dad,
Yeah, the dad for not finishing it off. Like if you're that angry, you don't just let it go a day later on Twitter.
well,
So it's either
I didn't
fake
see the
or he's a
video.
piece of
So in
shit.
the video, does security come out and stop them?
No,
Because it feels like no security was involved.
the security gang, there was no security. It was like the audience came and kind of like you were describing with the lesbian from Boston. Couple of small hands like, whoa, 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 don't do that. But like if someone hurt your son and you were attacking them, Pat, the effort they put in to stop him would not stop you or I.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he was stopped too quickly.
Yeah. It seemed fake and set up. Like it also just the fact that the tweet went out that day, and then the guy's like, "I'll just be happy to be at your show." You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't wait till he was on stage. You could. This guy, I mean, as far as I know, he's not this famous guy. He probably could have just gone into the green room and beat the shit out. You know what I mean? Like it didn't seem like it would be hard to get to you and I at a show. Nobody ever like you just go up to somebody and go, I'm one of the comedians. Like, okay, and they would just let you in the back. Like nobody knows.
Oh
shit.
yeah.
If you're at a lower level, it doesn't matter.
And I don't know, you wouldn't have it's fake. You nailed this. I'm glad you brought this to light. I saw this story. Normally I'm the one who says something's fake, but I appreciate you. I don't know what the right word is.
What
You're
did we
bringing me back to
delete?
reality.
We didn't delete anything.
I think it was YouTube did not like his comment. Would be my guess.
Oh, I didn't even
Like
see it.
YouTube
What did you
didn't
write?
even let him post it. I didn't see it either, but I'm guessing YouTube
Oh,
didn't let him
okay. I
post
was
it
like,
because
yeah,
we
we
didn't see
didn't.
anything.
Yeah, I don't delete. I think we can tell. I don't, as we're in the middle of a conversation, we're trying to tell a story about a father defending his son, and we won't stop talking about Smash Mouth and penises. We're not really here deleting things.
No, we're just kind of reading along. So who's your piece of shit other than you kind of pointed this out?
I mean, if it's fake, it's everyone that made this fake. Then it's corny. It's like just a way of learning a lesson. But let's just say it's real for a minute. I mean, as much as I hate the idea that the comedian did this, and I don't find it funny as a joke, I never get mad at a comedian for trying to be funny. The guy's trying to stand up. Dude, how many people that we know in that whole fucking Dabbleverse or like the compound media world, all these guys who just want people to like them. They're not really they're not comedians at all, but they're trying so hard because they saw like you and I are friends with them. I'm not shitting on him, but like our friend Jim Stansel, his whole like popularity started because he was a very good troll. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he started trolling people and doing whatever, and like he got some that hit enough for people, and he's also a likable guy. So then they started getting a chance to be on Compound and do things. And not that he's like doing anything like celebrity wise in any way, but he is the troll that rose. He was the one that he is the guy who got chose from the audience and now is in the band. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like funny that he kind of became in a small little world type of way. I think a lot of trolls are hoping somehow someone's going to go, wow, that was hilarious. Now you should be a famous comedian. Or that's hilarious. Now you should this or that. They think something's going to come out of this. So I guess this comedian thought, if I write this, people are going to be like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. We have to go see him. Pulls no punches. He'll even talk about babies being gay and make racist jokes too. Isn't he nuts? So I get what he was doing. You know what I mean? So I understand that. The father getting upset and finding like Liam Neeson, like I will find you and I will kill you shit. Totally understandable. It's security at the comedy show there because like I'm guessing a guy who says things like baby sucks a black cock is also the guy that when he gets to a club is like, hey guys, there's a small chance a guy's gonna show up want to kill me. I said some dumb shit. Can you have security hanging out by? Unless the security was like, we're fathers and we don't like what you said. We want you to get your ass kicked. You know what I mean?
Then security's the man.
Then security is the man, but it would be security or the club or whatever for not stopping this more and for allowing all the videos. It looks not like I would never want to go to a comedy show at that place if I thought that shit could happen. Yeah, I know you're saying like, it's funny to see. In the moment, it's gotta be scary as fuck. And now you just told a million other people. It's the Will Smith thing. You just told a million other people they can just run up on stage and do shit.
Yeah, you really opened a can of worms. You can't be like, oh no. Especially if it comes out that this was a publicity stunt.
Right. If it wasn't, and it's like, but even if it wasn't, and let's say somebody, Jim is taunting V in the comments, just writing penis, 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 penis. But if it wasn't, now you're just saying that whenever someone gets heckled or offended by something or doesn't like it, they can literally go on stage and fight somebody. And now you're ruining the whole relationship of comedy between the comedian and the audience member, where the audience member can't say anything. It's that's the conversation we have. Your responses are through laughter or disapproval, whatever, but not physical violence. That's the whole thing supposed to be.
Not through charging the stage and trying to kill somebody.
Right.
And it is a good point that is kind of the agreement. Like you're able to attempt to make any joke you want with the guys that it's all a joke. Like you can't then come out and be like, no, I'm 100% serious. This is factually accurate. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
For me, piece of shit still remains the microphone.
The microphone?
Yeah, it's not led to anything good.
Ever?
I don't know. I was just trying to be funny.
Oh, now I got sad because we're using microphones. Are we part of the problem?
I mean, depends on what the problem is. But yes, a lot of people would say I am a part of the problem. Pat, you wanted that one was a little sad. You want to do something a little bit happier?
That story wasn't sad. It just at the end you made it sad. That story was full of action and drama and babies being gay.
Well, let's lighten the mood a bit. How's that sound? No gay babies here. Suspect arrested in stabbing of 4 instructors from Iowa College in China.
Hold on real quick. I'm going to put something up so you can read it, and then I'll take it right down. We won't say anything.
I've read it. I read it. I was laughing pretty hard the whole time.
The winner of the Husey Award today goes right to Jim Grindle. There's no beating that. That's got layers to it. That's fantastic. The winner, ding, 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 ding. Jim Grindle is our Husey Award for Best Comment of the Day. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I was laughing at during the end of your story, too.
Oh, shit. That's my funny.
So a suspect, this is in Hong Kong, by the way. Bum, 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 bum.
What's the second part to that song?
That's it. It's just that it's the same as we have that dun 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 dun.
Sorry, just watch my girlfriend close the windows. I know, I forget how loud I am. I'm so sorry. She's like, God damn it. It's got to be hard being around me. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say that part on here, but yes, I know. But even if they aren't Asian next door, I shouldn't do that. I apologize. I will bow to them on camera right now. I'm sorry.
I don't think that makes it better.
I'm so oh, I saw Terry. Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no!
They're
Oh
gonna
no! He's
stab
right,
you
Bobby.
if you don't be careful.
Bobby
'cause
San.
A suspect has been arrested in the stabbing of 4 U.S. college instructors in a public park in
You said
northeastern
this was
China.
fun. You said this was a fun story.
Yeah, stop teaching the commies.
Oh no! Okay, go ahead with your stabbing story.
Authorities identified the suspect by his last name, CUI, a 55-year-old man from the city's Longtong district. Police said he collided with a foreigner while walking in Bishan Park. The suspect then allegedly, I almost said allegedly, stabbed the instructors,
Allegedly.
as well as Chinese tourists who stepped forward and tried to stop him during the incident. Police said they received a call around 11:45 a.m. local time Tuesday, after which they dispatched police to the scene and transported the injured to the hospital for treatment. At present, the injured have all received proper medical treatment and are not in danger of losing life. The educators from Cornell College, a private liberal arts college in Mount Vernon, Iowa, were wounded in a serious incident on Monday while participating in a partnership program with some college in China. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it kind of like V said, the piece of shit's for going to our mortal enemy right now? Why are we teaching the enemy? If it was the Cold War, you wouldn't be in the USSR teaching them how to build nukes. Is it the Chinese guy who stabbed the foreigners and the Chinese who tried to stop him? Like, I get it, Pat, if you were walking around Connecticut and there's a bunch of South African walking around and they bump into you and you start stabbing them. But the minute, the methed up guy from Bridgeport tries to grab you, you go, oh, you're on my side. You're one of us. You back off. Don't stab your own Chinese people.
I don't think that would be my response. Okay.
I'm just, I don't want to say how you would react. That's how I'd react.
You're on my team, meth guy.
Is it the Chinese guy? For none of them died. You stabbed 4 people. None of the wounds were fatal. What, they didn't teach you how to throw ninja stars properly, Pat? Who's your piece of shit? Is it
I've
me
never
for saying a fun story?
No, that was fun. Because it led to the song and it led to the shave and haircut 2 bits, which I didn't realize fit into that so well. And everybody's in the comments going with that shave and haircut 2 bits. I didn't realize that was part of that song. But so we've had a lot of good sidebars so far today. So the I've never. This is gonna sound crazy, and I know everyone's gonna be like, "What? Really? You must be lying." But I've never stabbed anyone. I know I'm in the minority of that, or not a minority because of it, ayo. But I've never stabbed anybody before, so I don't know. I know when you watch movies, a stab is always fatal. They know exactly where to stab. I can see most stabs not being fatal than being fatal because you don't know where you're stabbing, and there are a lot of parts where you can miss and stuff. You know what I mean? So. I understand not killing someone with a couple stabs. Like when you hear about someone getting stabbed like 80 times, you're like, whoa, how did they not die? Do they even have parts? But like a couple stabs here and there and you miss, I can see that. So they're not the piece of shit for not being able to be good at being stabbing. I think you're a piece of shit when you get stabbed because like you should be able to see a knife coming. If there's more than one stab, then you should be like, it's a gun. It's like, oh my God, it's a projectile. You don't know how to battle that, but it's a knife. It's like, and I know what you were saying, Bobby, about them being Chinese. Now, I'm sorry, I missed one part. The people that got stabbed were not Chinese.
So 3?
They were just the ones coming over.
3 were non-Chinese. The 4th was a Chinese man who tried to intervene.
Right,
like
but I'm
the
saying,
meth guy from my example, he got stabbed too.
Right, but he was hanging with them, so he was just trying to be culturally appropriate and not fight back. But white guys don't know anything about that because we all think we know how to like fight off a knife, but we don't know how to do. But you're a piece of shit if you don't know how to. You get stabbed more than once. I think
that's a good point. Unless if it's the leg, like if it's the leg and you can't run, I could see that happening more than once.
Yeah, but they're even getting to your leg right away. What's going on when you're letting these people get that close to you with a knife?
That is a good point. Huh?
They have a knife. It's not like a 9-foot knife. It's not like a fucking machete.
That's not a knife.
That's a knife, like that guy, like a Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan. Even that, he didn't stab anybody, he just showed off his knife.
Yeah, no. And for me, the piece of shit in the story is similar. If you're in a foreign country or your own country and you're in a rough area, it is your responsibility to keep your head on a swivel. Right? Like, I get it. China might be dangerous. People don't want to go to China. Age and health could be a factor there. But if you're going to China, be fucking ready. Last night, I'm getting food at Lucy's. Bunch of cholos come in speaking Spanish. I've never understood the language so clearly in my entire life just because you got to keep your head on a swivel. Are they starting to talk about the gringo? Are they going to stab the gringo for his white rice even though he ordered yellow? Who knows?
Who knows?
You got to be ready. Whether it's, I know I shit on Bridgeport, but like if you're going to Times Square even, keep your head on a swivel. If you're going to Spanish Harlem, if you're going to where Biggie grew up, keep your head on a swivel. That's life. And
I keep my head on a swivel everywhere I am because I know that I talk shit. My head is always swiveling around. My head's like a lazy Susan.
I mean, why can't it be a perfectly healthy, active Susan?
Because that bitch has to learn. Don't eat the yellow rice. Yeah, Kevin's right. Be careful.
I did that last night. They did not give it to me. They were like, "No, you get white rice, like you."
The other night I had I like that the house special fried rice where you get like all the shit in it. So it's like you ever have those? So they'll do like they do the pork fried rice, they do the chicken fried rice, they do the seafood fried rice, then they go house one, they go, yeah, all the shit. Like, dude, that's the fucking greatest rice of all time. All the shit.
Now yours sounds like Chinese, right? That's where they put like eggs and stuff in it too.
Yeah, well, this one didn't, but yeah, that's my favorite one. Like when they do that. But B, there would be no show if I didn't do what I do.
Did you see what Jim said next?
Huh.
He said, "This is why he bans you, V."
Why do they battle?
They're
I know
just
they're friends, right? I know.
Yeah, I think they just wake up and like, get to hang out with my buddy Jim today.
I did not ban him. God damn it! All right, Bobby, I think you want to do the move.
Sure. Yeah. Just
It looks like we don't really need to. It looks like most of our viewing today is just that. But for everybody there watching right now, if you're not watching on YouTube, you're watching through Facebook, you're watching through X, anything of those that we're streaming through, get over to the YouTube. We're flipping over there right now. So we are doing that. I just want to make sure I don't shut down the YouTube one. So when you did that, Bobby, you clicked on it, then it said to either edit or remove, right?
Yeah, just hit remove.
Yeah,
but
boom,
keep it there. That way it doesn't delete the first hour. He does have a valid point, V. One thing I would like to promote is this Friday I will be at the Soho Playhouse to do casket comedy. It'll be me and a bunch of other names I didn't recognize and Joseph Ferraro. You might remember Joey as young autistic Joey from Bobby Tambro's late night talk show in the afternoon. Very funny guy. Come check it out. We could use some tickets being moved. And then there is no show the 20th, but we've got big things coming the 28th and then the beginning of August. Pat, what do you got?
Well, you have one still up. But
yep, I have my YouTube up because we have a bunch of people on there right now.
Oh, your YouTube. Okay, Bob. No. Yeah. That one's fine. Well, right now we just have 6 people viewing here. So if you're viewing on you, that's great. But we only that's the whole thing. I know we have a bunch of people there, but if they don't come over here, we don't get those views for our monetary stuff. You get it. So that was the whole purpose of moving. So to keep the one thing that has a bunch of people doesn't really help. So if those people on Bobby's, if we can go over to the POS mornings one, that would be tremendous. But please like and subscribe as we're making you. I know that we'll get more smooth with this later on. We might not try this again for a little bit, but POS morning, go over to our Patreon over there for POS mornings and support us on that. Please hit like and subscribe here. If you're on the Patreon this Thursday, you'll be part of our Thursday Thought Show that we do around the afternoon, which is always a fun one. We had a couple crazy stories yesterday, and I think though, Bobby, if we're gonna tease ideas, I've had a couple in my head. One of them that I think I want to talk about on Thursday wasn't so much about a story we covered, but a conversation we had at the beginning. I think that you and I should try to figure out, we should each be able to add 2 more letters to LGBTQIA+. and you and I each get but working this out, figuring out what other 2 letters that represent what groups that we want to add. So if anybody has any ideas for that Thursday one, join the Patreon so you can be part of the show, or if you want to be on the show, let us know if you're on the Patreon. Or if you just want to put in the comments, you definitely can put underneath, what group you think and what letter you would use that we should add to LGBTQIA plus.
Do you think
which is the new Discovery Plus? I think it's a channel.
Do you think the L's bullied the G's into putting the L first?
No,
Because if it was just normal, the men would have come first.
No, but it's not regular men. It's gay men, which are like women, and lesbian women are like men. So therefore, that's why they came first. I don't think it was even bullying. I think that the gays wouldn't do it. There would be no group if it was up to the gays. It would just be the lesbians are like, let's form a group, and they're all like regimented. They've got like trapper keepers and stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, they're nice and organized. I see that. Yeah. You would think the T's.
They're starters. They get little starter businesses. They do pop-ups. Gays don't do that. Gays are just like, I'm drunk. Let's touch butts.
Yeah, take advantage of me. I won't tell.
I will so tell. All right. Bobby, have you been paying attention at all? Dude, there's a court case happening. You know who Karen Reed is?
No.
Okay, so Karen Reed is a woman and lives in the Boston area who was dating a cop. That cop at a party I'm not going to go into the whole court thing. People look it up. We'll get into some of it with this story. The cop, he died, and it looks like that the police are kind of, it's not said yet, but like it looks like they're framing and making this look like that she killed him when maybe it could have been other people involved with her car after a party and running him over. And she's been saying, just trying to prove it's not her, but she can get like manslaughter and all this shit when they're saying she didn't do it. It's been this huge thing in Boston. It's been going on for weeks and weeks. It's been fun to watch on court TV because you got a bunch of people with Boston accents and cops all saying weird shit and going back and forth. Now, there's been this one guy, a trooper, whose last name is Proctor. And by the way, I can't stop laughing every time they say Trooper Proctor because it's Chupacabra. Every time they're saying it, it's Chupacabra. With a Boston accent, it's Chupacabra, the Mexican werewolf.
1,000%.
Every fucking time. And I can't stop going.
That's
I was hoping that at one point a Chupacabra came on stage. Like, oh, thank you, Chupacabra. Now go back to attacking Mexican villages. But there's one trooper. He's the one leading the investigation. Now, a lot of, obviously, because the cop died and this lady was, just so you know, backstories and all this stuff. There's another cop who was like having a back and forth with her while she was dating one cop, and he was trying to hit on her and do stuff. And it looks like a lot of them wanted to bang her, but then hate her because they can't bang her. But also she, they just seem like awful, mean policemen from Boston. I'm not saying most police I like. Boston policemen always seem kind of mean. I don't know why. Maybe it's the accent. Maybe it's the cold. I'm not sure what it is.
But I can see that. Yeah.
So yesterday, Trooper Proctor was called to the stand, and he had to read off because her lawyer was like, we have all these texts that we have. For you going back and forth with your bosses and supervisors when you were going through her phone when you had a warrant and your responses, and we have to read those. And Bobby, this could be the most fun quotes that we've ever read on this show.
I cannot wait.
My girlfriend was watching this yesterday, and I was doing something else. She goes, when I came downstairs, she was like, you need to see all this. And rewound it, and I couldn't believe it was on TV. Insanity that this was being said in a courthouse. And even better, where the judge would be like, nope, you'll see at one point, or I'll say it, but at one point, he goes to spell a word out so bad, and she goes, nope, it was your words, you have to say it. It's
no.
So, yeah, it's not that one, but it's close. Trooper Michael Proctor reads his unprofessional and regrettable text on the stand in Karen Reed trial. These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of the investigation, Proctor argued Monday. When we go throughout this, I'm happy they put that at the beginning. When they keep saying, you're obviously biased, you hate this woman, he's like, listen, these are jokes. I can still focus while making jokes.
I don't like that. Oh, boy.
It's insane. So, Massachusetts State Police Trooper Michael Proctor confirmed he called Karen Reed a whack job cunt and retarded.
Okay.
And made light of her Crohn's disease in texts sent to friends, family, and colleagues during his investigation into Boston police officer John O'Keefe's death.
I don't like all that.
I don't have an explanation other than they're regrettable and it's something I'm not proud of. The language that I used, he said of his text. On the stand, Proctor read through pages of messages exchanged with childhood friends in the hours and days after O'Keefe was found unresponsive on a fellow Boston police officer's lawn in Canton. The recap below reflects some of the conversations as they were read aloud in court. I'm sure the owner of the house will receive some shit, one of Proctor's friends wrote. Proctor's response was like, nope. Homeowner is a Boston cop too. So in other words, right away, we're not going to give him any shit because he's one of us. Which, okay, I get the mentality. Not really sure you should be texting that to people.
No, you probably don't want to create a record of that evidence.
Yeah, it's almost like you don't want to leave evidence of things, like cops would find.
Yeah. You know that thing you spend your whole life looking for? Don't leave it.
Yeah, it's like, clues. Maybe you don't leave clues.
God, if only I had a confession. Oh, wait.
He just texted to somebody. Referring to Reed and O'Keefe, he testified when he wrote in other texts, she waffled him, which, by the way, I guess in Boston retard talk means ran him over with her car.
That's damn.
By the way, not a great way to say about a guy who's a cop that you're saying you respect that he got waffled.
No.
I looked at his body at the hospital. He was banged up. In another message, he added, she hit him with her car, which, by the way, has not been proven in any way. He's just, as the guy, the lead detective is already going, yep, that's her.
My God.
And then, ready? The friend writes back, she hot at least?
Okay, that's a good friend.
Okay, that's a good friend, Bobby. Now you're the cop. Do you respond?
Them titties ain't retarded.
Well, it's close, man. I know your joke of those titties aren't retarded. It's that actually would be nicer.
Oh, boy.
That he said, he replied, she's a whack job cunt. Yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass. This is the lead investigator. Dude,
like the first text isn't that bad.
Bobby, he had to read these for everyone, and he just kept going, but it's jokes.
Let me see if I can find my timing. Let me see if I can find this.
Fucking jokes. The sarcasm gets lost in text sometimes.
Yeah, you can't hear the emotion behind me calling her a whack job cunt with no ass.
You would know in my voice that there was a change in my voice where it's fun. You did. I forgot to put the rim shot gif. So you can see that. Speaking of rim shots, anyway. But where is it?
It'd be real easy to give her one because this bitch ain't got no ass.
Right. He also testified that he said homeowner Brian Albert, by all accounts, had done nothing wrong. He's the lead investigator. He's like, I've already figured this shit out. Let's just fucking shit on this lady. Under questioning by prosecutor Adam Lally. By the way, you would love this guy, dude. He has that snarky voice where he's just like, oh, you like that? He gets the objections every 2 seconds. And he's just always like, oh, like when he would say this kind of stuff. At one point, we're going to get to it, but at one point, it's in there that he makes a joke about looking for nudes through her phone. Which, by the way, it's also insane that he's using this warrant to do that. But he said just a joke. So every second he'd be like, I was searching the phone, and the lawyer would just go, for nudes? they go objection, like sustain. It's like, and I was doing this thing, goes, for nudes? He just
dude, I love this guy.
Oh, dude, he's amazing. He might not win, but she's not going to lose. Like, he's just this, you would hate him in any other way, but you want this man to be your lawyer. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it's fucking tremendous.
He would be a nuisance to society if he wasn't the world's greatest criminal defense attorney.
Yeah, that's all it is. Acknowledged that his messages were unprofessional. Proctor acknowledged that his messages were unprofessional and regrettable, and said he shouldn't have sent them. In other texts, he said he called Reed a nutbag, which, by the way, is a fun term and not really used anymore. And wrote, she's got a leaky balloon knot. Leaks poo. Dude, she has Crohn's disease. He's a cop. not. What's the last time you've heard that? Like Opie and Anthony days.
Yeah,
Guy,
is he on
he's a police
terrestrial
officer.
radio?
He's texting people. This bitch got a leaky balloon knot. And in case you didn't get it, Bobby, leaks poo. Like, yeah, we got it. What else would it leak?
Better than blood.
Yeah, I guess it's better than blood. Leaks blood, but ew, they're too far, dude.
Yeah.
Go
How
back
dare
to the
you say that?
poop humor.
I don't like this cop.
Oh, really? You think he's unlikable, Bobby? What do you mean? This cop, he's Bobby, it's jokes.
It is
It's
jokes.
just jokes. It's
Sorry,
jokes.
I'm interrupting here. I'll let you get to your.
No, we're not interrupting. This is super fun. No, I'm saying it's just jokes.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the
just
other
jokes.
story, why couldn't that other guy just be, oh, you want to say my son is gay and will like black cock? It's just jokes. That guy was actually a comedian saying that.
The
This
difference
is
for me
This is a chupacabra.
is the comedian's not at work trying to solve a murder.
Yeah.
Like, why is this dickhead texting at the crime scene? If
Yeah,
you
you
or
know
I
what?
did that at our job, we'd be fucking out.
You know what? They should trade. The guy who found the comedian did the research, was a detective, went and found this guy, then punched him on stage. This cop is at home not finding the murderer going, yeah, you like balloon knot jokes? Here you go. Here's 12. I like that this guy with the world's worst Boston accent goes, she's got a weird Fall River accent. This guy's got that Noma Garcia Power retarded voice, and he's talking about other people's accents.
This guy, well, probably loves a movie about a guy who's really good at math but can't decide which college he wants to go to.
Oh,
even
yeah.
though his girlfriend's going to Stanford for med school. No one in that movie just went, go to Stanford and teach math there. It's a great school. God, I hate that movie.
Oh, he's got to be like, Good Will Hunting's the best movie ever, kid. You ever see it before? How you like them apples? How you like this balloon knot?
Good Will Hunting explained why I think therapy doesn't work. How you like them apples, Robin Williams?
She don't like apples because apples is diuretic and it makes you leak poo out of your butt.
She got a leaky butt.
She leaks poo in reference to Reed's chronic illness. Reed was diagnosed with Crohn's disease at 25 and at one point used a colostomy bag, according to an April profile in the Boston Globe. Again, unprofessional comments I should have not made and that I'm not proud of, Proctor said. However, he argued, these juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of his investigation. You can't claim integrity now.
Yeah.
Lally pointed. Go ahead.
No, you really can't. When you're making fun of somebody's leaky balloon knot, you can't be like, but I've got a ton of it.
Yeah, and it's not like their Crohn's disease had anything to do with the accident or the murder.
What if the waffle man was like, hey, you got a leaky butt, I'm not fucking you, and then she hit him with her car.
You know what? You're right, Bobby. If in that scenario with the guy who got waffled by a car had been heard yelling, I'm not going to have sex with you, you've got a leaky butt, and then she ran him over, then yes, you're right. This is all. Imagine if that was it. You're like, case closed. This guy's the greatest detective. Fuck Sherlock Holmes. Chupacabra is the greatest detective of all times. Lally pointed prosecutor to text messages the trooper exchanged with his sister, Courtney. Proctor previously testified that his sister is friendly with several of Brian Albert, the guy who got killed, relatives, including witnesses Julie, Chris, and Colin Albert. Proctor also said he told 3 of his superiors about his acquaintance with the Albert family, though he maintained those personal relationships had absolutely zero impact on the investigation. So he literally said to his bosses, hey, I've got ties. My sister knows them, whatever, but I'll be fine. I got this. So yeah, who cares if you've got like ties and you know shit about people in a murder investigation where you can sway one way or the other? You should definitely be in charge of this. Are you good? You want to know why? Because we can't wait for your fucking fun text thread we're going to do later because you're so fun with the jokes.
Oh, they got Officer Proctor, Chupacabra on this one? Oh, we're going to be laughing. Get ready, rookie. You've never seen a line of jokes like Officer Proctor.
I hope Officer Proctor was a part of the search for the Boston Marathon people. That's got to be the most racist tweets of all times.
I thought they couldn't swim. Why is he hiding in a boat? Officer Proctor, no. No.
Who's covering their shift at 7-Eleven?
This is why I always say Duncan has the best donuts in Boston.
America runs on Duncan, and now Massachusetts runners are all over the floor. Right, kid? On February 1st, 2022, Proctor said his sister texted him, I just saw Julie, and she said when this is all over, she wants to get you a thank you gift. So one of the relatives of the guy who's dead is already saying, I want to give you a thank you gift. In other words, what would be the hinting? That you're forcing this case to go one way. Like, why else would you thank you?
Oh, I thought they were thanking the woman who hit her.
No.
That's why I was like, so they
this is the woman. This is a cousin of the guy who got killed saying to the Trooper Proctor that I'm gonna give you a gift, and his response was, "Get Elizabeth one. That's his wife. They get her a gift. Take care of her." He said his sister continued, because I guess her and Chris were friends with John, and she's so proud of you for leading this. Proctor testified that neither he nor his wife asked or received the gift. He confirmed that in a separate text thread that his wife on June 9th, 2022, the day Reed was indicted and arrested for O'Keefe's death, he wrote that he was waiting to lock this whack job up. That sounds pretty, on the straight and narrow.
It does seem as though he's kind of got blinders on when it comes to solving this case.
Or being nice to ladies. That also has blinders onto that. Lally asked Proctor why he used the language he did in the text about Reed. We knew Mr. O'Keefe never went into Fairview Road, Proctor said. We knew there was only one shoe at the scene, one shoe at the hospital. Based off Mr. O'Keefe's injuries, Miss Reed's statement, when Sergeant Yuri Buchanek and I interviewed her broken taillight, some taillight pieces found at the scene, the compelling evidence pointing directly at Miss Reed that she struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle, led me to make those comments. He added, like I said, these were not professional comments, but based on the day's investigation, it was clear that Miss Reed had struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle. Lally also asked about messages Proctor exchanged with a fellow state police trooper on April 28th regarding conversations with the medical examiner's office. The medical examiner listed O'Keefe's cause of death as undetermined. Of course it's undetermined, Proctor said. He wrote, she's a real whack job. This guy loves whack job, which I haven't heard anybody say whack job. I don't ever, on purpose, never.
Did you ever watch the show Life on Mars?
No, I never did, but I heard of it.
It's about a cop in 2014. They did an American and a British version. The British version's better, but cop gets hit by a car and then goes back to the 70s. It feels like the reverse happened with this cop. They found a Boston cop from the 60s who showed up and is still using all the vernacular. Like, oh, she must have been all hysterical. Don't the broads do that these days?
Yeah, don't the women with the leaky balloon knots get put in jail or something? Isn't that what happens?
Whoa, you guys let a broad drive with a leaky balloon knot?
Proctor read more messages aloud from another group chat where a fellow trooper sent a picture of one of Reed's lawyers. Oh, I forgot about this dude. So one of the people sends a picture of the lawyer, David Yannetti. I forgot about this. So Trooper Proctor writes back, funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. He called her retarded. He saw a picture of the lawyer and goes, oh, that's funny. I'm going through a retarded client's phone right now. No nudes so far.
So far.
So far, Proctor said he wrote, I hate that man. I truly hate him. That's perfect for a fucking court case. You hate the other lawyer. He confirmed Reed was the client in question. Yeah, because there was so when you say retarded client, please point to the person you think's retarded. Dude, he had to point to her. Karen Reed, that's the person I think is retarded.
Your Honor, come on. You show me the waterhead in the room.
Bobby, I don't know if you've seen that in some courts, stenographers now, they don't type. They have this vacuum thing over their mouths and they kind of talk. It looks like a weird breathing apparatus, but there's this big fat lady that's in every one and she has to go like this, whatever. Dude, when he's saying all this crazy shit, you see her going. Like she's probably trying to really whisper retarded into it.
Jesus.
Trooper in my office knew I was going through the phone that evening, Proctor explained. I was most interested in location data, text messages, Google searches. That was the update I gave the troops in my office. It was a distasteful joke. I should have gave a proper update instead of that. He added that he wasn't able to finish a thorough search of the phone because he came across privileged messages between Reed and her attorney. So he had to stop. Then he finally had morals when he was like, "Oh, I can't read these, so I got to stop." Defense attorney Alan Jackson cut straight to the point as he began the cross-examination of Proctor. As an unbiased, objective investigator, the person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded, correct? Dude, this guy, he is amazing. And he goes, again, poor language on my part, Proctor said. Poor language. Nothing wrong. He's not apologizing. Just go, I chose the wrong words. Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it, right? Jackson countered as Judge Beverly Cannon sustained an objection from prosecutors. Pointing to Proctor's comments about hating Yannetti, Jackson asked, "How do you feel about him now? He's sitting right there." He goes, "I still don't care for him. No."
He's a retarded fag. That would have been the best court case ever if he's just like, "I'm right here, pussy. What are you gonna do?"
Point to the guy you hate. That guy right there. That's him. Jackson turned his attention to Proctor's text about looking for nude photos on Reed's phone. Have you ever looked for naked photos of a male suspect you were investigating? And the guy goes, "I don't look for naked photos in anyone's phone," Proctor said. He goes, "But you said you were looking for nudes of Miss Reed, correct?" And he goes, "Like I said, Mr. Jackson, it was an inappropriate joke." It's jokes. It's just jokes. Well, I'm looking for a picture of this retarded lady's balloon knot at leaks. Like, first of all, with all the ways he thinks about her, why would he want to see her naked?
Leaky balloon knot. That's how I knew.
With no ass and retarded? Why would you want to see that?
That might be a crime in and of itself.
Do you believe your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator? I believe poor jokes and unprofessional language have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence in this case. What? Jackson accused the trooper of objectifying Reed rather than objectively investigating her. Proctor maintained he did not go through Reed's photos. Later, Proctor confirmed that none of his supervisors reprimanded him for his message about searching through Reed's phone. In fact, he said Sergeant Buchanek liked the text. Dude, and they pulled that copy out, and he can see that he liked it. He's like, "I'm looking for her nudes." And the sergeant's like, "Yeah, thumbs up."
Yeah, let me see them.
Retarded, leaking boobs. In other words, Trooper Proctor, you don't get to pick a suspect and then try to find evidence to support your choice, right? He said. He was correct, Proctor replied. But in this case, it's exactly what you did, right? Absolutely. Canone ended Monday's session after Proctor's answer. After an off day Tuesday, the trial is set to resume Wednesday morning with Proctor still under cross-examination. Dude, I'm telling everyone, if you have time during the day, this has been like an amazing thing to watch. It's so good. It's one of the best cases to watch. But they take like every other day off. It's just not every day. It's been going on for like 8 weeks. John O'Keefe's missing sneaker was one of the investigators' clues. Whatever. Proctor, a lead investigator in the case, recalled heading to Good Samaritan. Okay, that's the real shit. I don't think we need to get into any of the case stuff. You want to see that, you can. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Trooper Proctor? Yes. He said awful shit. Shit you should not say. It sounds like he's being unprofessional. But if I pull myself away from it for 1 second, how many times, Bobby, you too, at Dick's, when you're joking around, you're at work, you quietly to another person say about a customer, "This fucking fat piece of shit. How are we going to get his shoes on her? We're going to need like an elephant trainer." You say it jokingly back and forth, then you go out there and you put the shoe on the lady. Yeah, how many times have you been in a comedy show with another comic and you're like, "Ugh, look at this group of so-and-sos in the front. They're going to have to talk slow for them," or whatever. And then you go on stage and you perform for them. If someone leaked that stuff out to those people, they'd be like, "Really? So you're saying that you're supposed to be a customer service person or supposed to be a comedian that cares about people and stuff like that?" but you're not being that way. You're like, I was just joking around with a guy. We get it. It's just busting balls. No, but I don't really feel that way. I did do my job. It doesn't get involved. We've all been there and done that. We've never been there and done that when we're a detective and we have to figure out a case, but it's Boston humor. I can see him being, some of them, the Leaky Balloon, not all that shit. Yeah, terrible and wrong. When he was like, how's the investigation going? And they knew he was looking at a phone. I can see making the joke of, haven't found any nudes yet, where he's not looking for it, just because it's a joke about looking at a phone. So some of the jokes I could get. It just sucks that you would think as a cop, you would realize that people might be able to see the text message groups. By the way, hey, Carl's Frosted Tips. Hey, Ed's Funhouse. A bunch of people jumping in. But I see Bobby, look at you talking to people. Like people are like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like it's just Pat's fun text to people. It's just
I'm trying to help.
But so is it him for talking inappropriately and being the way he was? Is it his superiors for not shutting that down right away and being like, hey man, we have a case. They may call these phones up. You know what I mean? Like let's not do this. Like maybe call them and be like, hey bro, stop with the text thread. You know what I mean? We can't really erase it now. People will know we're doing it. Is it Karen Reed's lawyer for like pushing this and pushing it? He pushed it a lot, but he got a lot of objections. A lot of things were not like kept here because he kept trying to hammer. Yes, his main job is to make it look like they're angry and they have a vendetta and stuff like that. But if he does it too far, then you don't get anything out of it. Is it her leaky balloon not? Hey, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really helping the case. You felt for her, but then you're like, oh no, she leaks poo. Then all of a sudden you start to feel gross about it. You don't really like that at all. Is it Boston? Their accents make it so much worse. If it was just me saying and you saying like we were, it's funny. When you watch it, it's like Peter Griffin lost his mind. It's like insane to watch all these people sound like this, saying retard or whatever. Is it her for not standing up, Karen Reed, when he pointed and said, yep, that right there, that's the retarded woman? You're going, what the fuck? I know she's in court. That's when you speak up. And I don't think you can get mad at her for that. You can't point at me and call me a retard in front of people. Is it the lawyer for not fighting this guy? You want me to prove that, because it was a different lawyer. Like the guy who was talking was one lawyer. This was like the head. They had a couple there. That guy should have said, it's almost like in a basketball game when you need the enforcer to come out and just take one for the team that day. He's like, I'm getting fouled out in this one, and go up there and light this guy up. Let's see how angry he really gets to see what else he fucking says. Or is it that guy for getting hit by a car? It's a car. Get out of the way. What's wrong with you? All right. Who's the piece of shit in the story?
So as much as I agree with you, I don't think it's the cop.
You don't think it's Trooper Proctor?
I don't think it's Trooper Proctor. You nailed it. We make jokes at jobs. Like, I realize you should know your phone, but the part of the story we're not taking into account is it was a cop. Like, it was his buddy who died. You're dealing with tragedy. I don't know about you. That's how I make light of a situation, is making jokes so you don't have to deal with the trauma that's going on. Should he have been aware that all these texts are going to be used? Yes. Should he have called her retarded? Probably not. But at the end of the day, I think he was making jokes to make life of a tough situation. And as somebody who's done that my whole life, I can't say he's the bad guy for it. You said it yourself. If somebody saw our group chats, it out of context, in context, regardless, it would be rough. You know what I mean? You're trying to make people laugh, and you're also dealing with a group of people who deal with the toughest stuff on a regular basis. So
Frosted Tips got a point. You know what I mean? Like, they see so much horrible shit that their senses of humor are like really skewed. It is awful what he was saying, but they joke about it in a real fucked up way because most of their lives are just seeing fucked up shit. Like, they're almost, think about it. Like, you're doing a case so bad that you're almost happy to hear a domestic violence. Or you're like, oh, I need a break. I can go to that. Like, how awful does that sound? But like, they almost need like that kind of thing. So I get the vernacular. I get that they talk that way. But man, is it wild when you hear it from a guy who knows people. And you've got to still be able to separate the jokes. And that comes from a guy who doesn't know how to do that. I've been told all the time, can you be serious? This is a funeral. It's like, I don't know how to do that. And I get that. But this guy, you're at a different level. I'm just a shitty comedian. This guy's a shitty detective. You know what I mean? In a case where he said he also has like hatred for people. It's one thing to do the jokes, but to say I hate that guy, that's not a joke.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
No,
Calling her
and
retarded,
honestly-
making fun of her physical attributes, it's very poor taste and awful. But you could tell he was trying to tell jokes. But like the visceral part of it, you can't have that.
Yeah, but at the same time, this guy is defending a cop killer in his book. You know what I mean? Like, I could see if I'm guessing it's not the first time this guy's been a defensive. You know what I mean? Like, they've crossed paths before. It would be the same as if you and
No,
Kyle.
I'm sorry, but that part wasn't read. They've never met, never crossed paths.
Oh,
He just
well,
saw his picture and fucking hated the guy.
well, that's
Never
fair,
met
then.
him.
Probably has a punchable face. Old rat.
Yeah, he does.
Defense attorney. No, I'm just teasing. But like, again, so for me, the piece of shit in the story is the cop's lawyer. Why is this relevant to the case in any way whatsoever?
What do you mean?
We have what's called free speech in America. My client's allowed to say whatever he wants. I don't think these text messages have anything to do with
Bobby.
determining her guilt or innocence. Would be my
No,
argument.
Bobby, it does 1,000,000% because what most people feel, and the town is outraged by this, that these cops have framed her because they did something.
Oh,
That that's not what the trial is, to make sure she's innocent and not done that. But a lot of people feel that there's a bunch of drinking at a party, and then there might have been some tempers heated, and they're trying to prove all these guys that some cops, other one, not this guy, but some other cops that were in the force with him, may have done this and said, "Fuck it, we'll blame the wife because she left kind of drunk with the car." And the video shows their cars didn't really hit or whatever, but they're saying that she might have. The bruising doesn't match up. We can get into the whole case itself, but yeah, this is super important because this is proving that these guys are, like, trying to cover something up by saying, like, the woman saying, "Here's a thank you note before anything happens," or like, "Oh, I'm happy you're the one in charge of this." There's been texts that have been erased. There have been videos that have been fucked with. There have been phones that have been thrown out before they can be looked at by other cops and stuff. Yeah, so this is like the huge part of this case.
and as Ed pointed out, I didn't realize this, but if it's the government and they own the phone, it's public record,
Yeah.
which is something you should know if you have a government issued phone. So that's on
Yeah.
me. But I still, like you said, I don't think this cop is the piece of shit. I think it's whoever was involved, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly. Ed's, I mean, Ed obviously knows, but like trying to ruin his rep to force a mistrial. That's what they're trying to do. And they've done that with the other cops too, because they're not doing it. These cops aren't on trial, but they're trying to prove that there's no proof that without reasonable doubt that she did it. You know what I mean?
And I could
Because
see
she's retarded, Bobby.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see
She's got a leaky
that,
balloon
yeah.
knot.
Especially with the thank you notes. Even then, I was trying to be like, oh, well, maybe they were like, thank you for putting aside your grief to deal with this, but that seems bad.
Right. Well, no, he doesn't really know the guy. He kind of had a relationship. It's more the family does. So he's got opinions of all of them. There's another cop that was hitting on her, and they were kind of having a bit of an affair, but not really. They kind of kissed. And then this guy was like, and they kept saying but they were trying to prove that this guy was romantically involved and maybe upset, and maybe he could try to like get rid of Brian to be with Karen type deal when she already said no, whatever. And he's like, "No, I'm not romantically involved. I just wanted to hook up." Like, these guys talk like fucking morons at a bar. They don't talk like cops in any way. It's like 30 Dennis Franzes. Remember that from like NYPD Blue? It was like that was that show where like it was the first time they put a cop on TV that was like bald and fat with a mustache. You're like, whoa, this is real. They're not handsome anymore. Now they're gross. And Dennis Franz would be like, "Hey, go fuck yourself. I'm Dennis Franz." I mean, that wasn't quote, but that'd be a way better show on ABC.
I wish they made this into.
He also says his real name in the show. "Fuck you, I'm Dennis." Like, that's not you're the actor, Dennis Franz. You can't say "go fuck yourself." I'm Dennis Franz. Anyway, go ahead.
I wish they would make this into an episode of Blue Bloods, where you've got Donnie Wahlberg on the stand and Frank is his dad. Donnie, did you really say that the bitch was retarded?
Now, what Ed is saying is alleged. By the way, I see the next post. Ed's saying that when he was a cop, we would not text on government phones. We would go to personal ones. Easier to get rid of them. Allegedly.
Yeah, he does that in the next comment too, just to cover it in case you
didn't. Oh,
yeah.
That's why I'm saying it next. I just want to put up every post.
Letting the audience know. Yeah. But so, yeah, for me, the piece of shit, I don't know. Probably the retarded girl.
She's not retarded.
Like, don't they make special underwear for when you have a leaky butt? Isn't that what Biden's wearing right now as he goes? And
okay, Bobby. No one's
saying
that he saw or has experienced her leaky butt. That just means he knows enough about her that he looked at her phones to find out she has Crohn's disease, and now he's making joke. He did enough research to find out she has a disease, and now he's making fun of the disease. She's not walking around leaving a trail. Like, no one knows about it. She's in court every day. No one knew she had a stinky butt. Or lack of butt, I guess.
I mean, she has no butt, but how did he not
Not
know
for
that?
him. I bet you he likes fat ass, though.
Oh,
A guy like that likes fat ass.
I think a guy like that likes ass, period.
Yeah, no, but he likes to use the N-word while looking at it.
No,
Oh, you don't think that guy says the N-word?
I think he regularly does. I was going no.
It's like salt and pepper to him. It seasons all his sentences.
Well, I mean, he's probably a big rap fan.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, Bobby.
My bad. I forgot the E.
Listen, I don't like rap. I like Motley Crue and other queer stuff.
Sipowicz?
Yeah, Sipowicz is Dennis Franz character I was talking about.
Okay. I was like, how does Rich know the cop who got hit and killed? Yeah, be careful. They're going to subpoena our text.
No, he gave me the character name for the NYPD Blue. Sipowicz. It was a tremendous character because there was nothing really like him before. It really led to the cop shows being all gruff and stuff like that, and not just being like handsome guys. Like, let's solve a case and then go out and have drinks. And this Sipowicz is like, my wife left me. My kids think I'm gay. This stinks. And I'm bad at being a cop. It was a very good show. Way ahead of its time.
I can say I've never seen it.
NYPD Blue. It would kind of hold up too. And it had that redhead dude. It started his career. I forget. It was a bunch of I forget his fucking name. Yeah. So that case is crazy. So the piece of shit to me, surprisingly, is Trooper Proctor, and not for anything else except for the part. Okay. And I know you're supposed to be honest and truthful, but you know what? David Caruso. Thank you, Ed. When they said, who is the person you referred to as retarded in the courthouse today? He should have said, well, no, because there are no retarded people in the courthouse today, and I apologize. Yes, the joke was about Karen Reed, and she is here, but there is no retarded person in the courthouse today, and I apologize. Instead, he stood up and points to her and goes, yep, there she is, retarded. Like, you can't do that.
That is a very good point.
You know what I mean? I get it. It's being truthful, but right there, it could have changed everything. Just be like, no, there's no special need. And stop saying retarded. Like, there's no special needs people here. It was a tasteless joke, and I'm not insulting any special needs people. I'm so sorry for any of the mentally challenged. There's no one like that here today. But yes, the joke, the awful joke I told was about Miss Reed, not, hey, look over there. See what my finger where it's pointing? This is a compass, and it only finds retard. Do, 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 you. And then points at her. You can't do that.
Okay, if he had done that, he would have been the coolest cop ever.
Yeah, he probably would have been the coolest cop ever.
I got my retard detector.
He goes, well, that's her name. Her name's Karen Reed Tarded. That's her name. That's not my fault. I read it wrong. Reed, I don't know.
You tell me, smart guy. Who's the retarded person? Is there anyone here who didn't like her relationship with one cop, so she started cheating on him with another cop?
By the way, window just got closed again.
Well, we've been yelling that a lot.
I know. Too much retard, not enough time.
Oh, God.
All right. By the way, Ed, we are really enjoying your insight on this today. I really appreciate you, my friend.
Please come every morning, Ed. You're the best.
No, but this is awesome to talk about cops like this and have a guy like that. Ed, thank you so much, man. 20 years ago, I was a 911, Jesus Christ, 911 dispatcher. I did one job. I dispatched a 911. Here you go. Here it is. We kept getting prank calls from a kid saying his family was dead. He has fourth time he called. I told him he was a little pussy and he's gonna get raped in jail. You know, pranks.
I mean, you gotta fight fire with fire, Ed. I like it.
Jesus. Oh no, we caught him. And I got subpoenaed for court a few months later. The investigator said I was going to testify, but said it was the funniest call they've ever heard. So they get it. You know what I mean? The guy was doing it. But Ed said he was scared to death to explain it to court. Luckily, he pled out and he didn't have to go in, but that would have been nuts if he had to go in. Did you say you thought he was going to get raped?
No,
Well, yeah, but also he kept saying his family was dead.
I said
Jones.
wrapped. He was going to get wrapped in jail.
Repaid. It's French. It just means sprinkled with candy. He's gonna get repaid.
Ironically, repaid means tiny dagger in the butt. So yeah, it fits doubly.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like anal pain on your wedding day. So, Bobby, do you have anything that can follow that story?
Not that can follow it.
By the way, go watch this court case or look up this video. This is all out there. Obviously, they have to bleep stuff out, but you can see the videos anywhere. You look it up. Trooper Proctor, Karen Reed. And you can find it everywhere. Not you, Bobby. We can't play any of that shit. Obviously.
No. But I this is not on the same vein as Officer Proctor, but I did want to give a quick update because last week we talked about Jaguar Wright and Tasha K. They were the ones who brought the story out about Odell Beckham and that we even did.
I forgot all about the actual women that talked about it. I just remembered that Justin Bieber and Odell Beckham had the sex.
Well, this might surprise you, Pat. Those women are back in the news because Jaguar Wright was arrested for property
by the way, real quick,
theft.
Ed, see you later. Thank you for jumping in today, man. Super fun. Have a great rest of your day. You made our morning fun. Thank you, Ed.
You're the best, Ed. Jaguar Wright was arrested for property theft and blames YouTuber Tasha K.
Oh, no.
So basically, Jaguar Wright stole a U-Haul, said it was all Tasha's fault, and Tasha went, that bitch is schizophrenic. And I'm not just saying that as a joke. Like, literally, her daddy was diagnosed with schizophrenia. She's been diagnosed with schizophrenia. That bitch has been getting a check since she's 7 years old. So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it the woman who stole a U-Haul? The woman who lied about the other woman stealing a U-Haul? Or is it U-Haul? Like, who gives a shit? Just give them your truck. I guess there's not really...
Did she really steal it, though?
Yes, she has been. Yes, so she's
okay. So like, one was lying about, but she really did steal it. The one that said she stole it was telling the truth, but the girl who stole it was lying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But so the one girl found with the U-Haul goes, Tasha told me this was her U-Haul and that I could have it. Tasha goes, that bitch has schizophrenia. That's the whole story.
Well,
I just kind of wanted to update that maybe they're not the most reliable sources.
No, but if you are caught in a lie, you usually do double down.
Good
you know
point.
What I mean? So like, if you are caught, you have to go, well, you can't listen to her. She's got, and then what do you think of what's untrusting? I guess schizophrenia. I don't know if that would make me think that they're lying because of that. You're changing your personality, but it doesn't mean you lie.
That's a good point too.
You know what I mean? So it's like that. You're like, okay, maybe I am schizophrenic, but I still know the truth.
I ain't no liar.
My three other us all know that you did it.
No, Timmy stole the truck, and you're like, who's Timmy?
Yeah,
fair enough.
Shoe or whatever the fuck. It's like, okay, no, the piece of shit is anyone who steals a U-Haul and then lets their friend know that they stole a U-Haul. Keep it to your fucking self. Your friend's a blabbermouth. You're the same people that told on famous people for having gay sex. You guys don't keep secrets. You know what I mean? So why would you think if she's gonna run out there and say things that are alleged, like Justin Bieber and Odell Beckham had gay sex at P. Diddy's house? Why wouldn't she tell on you for stealing a U-Haul?
I couldn't agree with you more. That's not who my piece of shit is, though. It's Officer Proctor. Because if he had arrested these women, boy, those texts would have been on fire.
Oh man, that's schizophrenic. Oh, that three personality having whore. That bitch don't know about lying or nothing.
Do I got to charge all her personalities or just the main one?
Yeah, she has a leaky butt and she's schizophrenic. We call her schizophrenic. Like, good one, Trooper Proctor. Good one.
Proctor, stop being so goddamn funny or I won't have a job anymore.
And just so you guys know, August 8th through 10th is when I'm recording my album. It's supposed to just be two comedians, me and Bobby. Trooper Proctor, if you can put together a 10-minute set of all that stuff, you will be hosting the show. I would love you to be there. I want Trooper Proctor to host and do 10 minutes up front of just doing crowd work. It's like, hey, they told me there's a retard in the audience. And he just starts pointing at everybody. They're like, no. The fingers going. They played a Jeopardy song like, doo. And then finally it hits, and his finger just lands on somebody like, you are retarded.
Now you have to be there, or Trooper Proctor. So if you do get it in trouble for what you did, we're not gonna let you zoom in. But we
Even
would
if he
love
gets in
that.
trouble, it'd be years later, but way courts go. He'll have plenty of time.
Could we wrap this up? I know the retarded bitch thinks she's innocent, but I got to do 10 at Mohegan Sun tonight.
Well, could we do what they didn't do to her butt and wrap this up? Because, man, that leaky butt, you should be wearing something over that, you poopy bitch.
You nasty loose balloon knot hole having.
Yeah, your whole mood is crappy.
I don't think it's getting better than that.
It is, because we've got one more story. Because our favorite person in the news again, Caitlin Clark. And a guy, I don't know how you feel about him, but a comedian who couldn't shut up about her, Bill Maher, weighing in on Caitlin Clark. Now, what do you think, Bobby? Do you think he's for Caitlin Clark or against Caitlin Clark?
Well, let's see. If I had to analyze Bill Maher's counterculture, whatever society does, I did the opposite douchiness. I'm going to say he's against Caitlin Clark.
Well, you are wrong.
No, because
Bill
maybe I'm
Maher,
funny.
Caddy WNBA stars are picking on Caitlin Clark because she's straight and white. He's finding the reason, and he's making it homophobic and racist. Bill Maher believes Caitlin Clark's sexuality and race have played a big role in the way her fellow NBA players have treated her since joining the league early this year. During Friday's episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, the political commentator lambasted Clark's opponents and her own teammates for seemingly drawing a target on her back despite her positive impact in the WNBA. Quote, women's basketball got on my radar like everybody's because of Caitlin Clark, he explained. And the other girls in the league were delighted for her success. And he paused and goes, I'm joking, of course. They fucking hate her. Maher brought up the controversial moment Chicago Sky star Sinead Carter hip-checked Clark during an inbound play earlier this month as an example. By the way, I know we're making a big deal about that. Watch that play a million times. She flopped. There was a lot of times Caitlin Clark gets hit. She flopped on that one. That was not that hard of a hit. That's something you do to bump someone off on an inbounds play. It happens all the time in sports. LeBron flops like that too. She's just learning from LeBron. But I get it. It because everything had been happening, it had a bigger thing on it. The comedian claimed that there's an undeniable racial element to how the Indiana Fever rookie has been treated. It's not always racism when a white person succeeds, he argued against claims Clark, 22, is only popular because she is Caucasian. However, his guest, Matt Welch, argued that the athlete's physical play cannot automatically be deemed racially charged given the same thought process. It's also not always racism when black people hip check them either, he gently countered. Both are at play. I think it's natural for a megastar to come in and people say, I'm kind of tired of hearing about her. Despite Welch's suggestion, Maher blamed Clark's treatment on jealousy, racism, and her sexual orientation. Women are catty. The league is very lesbian, and she's not. That's a great sentence. The league is very, not that the individuals are. The league, the whole entity is lesbian. It dates other lady leagues. The WNBA dates the Women's Bowling Association all the time. Lesbians.
If anybody knows lesbians, it's Bill Maher.
Yeah,
because he is
Bill Maher. He looks like a lesbian. And she's not. And there's race. He said there's a lot going on. Earlier in the episode, Maher specifically called out Clark's teammates for not defending her more, which he claimed would not be an issue in the NBA. See, if this were men, they'd defend each other on the same team. And you've said this, Bobby, many fucking times. He said, I mean, men will fight from two teams, but when somebody checks you on who's on your team, you defend that guy. While Maher admitted men have their bad parts and can be toxic, he argued they would never turn on their teammates. Women are catty, he reiterated again, even the ones on your own team. Last week, ESPN host Pat McAfee also touched on claims that Clark's race has played in a role, arguing she is responsible for the league's rise in popularity based on talent alone. However, his support for Clark was overshadowed based on his poor word choice, referring to the young athlete as a white bitch. What the WNBA currently has is what we like to describe as a cash cow. There is a superstar, he said. I would like the media people that continue to say, this rookie class, this rookie class, this rookie class. Nah, just call for what it is. There's one white bitch for the Indiana team who was a superstar, he said, while pointing to a photo of Clark. Retarded. In mid backlash online, McAfee apologized and admitted he shouldn't have used white bitch as a descriptor of Clark. When I heard it, he was kind of saying like bad bitch. He wasn't saying she's a bitch. He's like, yo, that's a white bitch right there. Like she's the head bitch in charge type deal. You know what I mean?
That's how.
No matter the
that's how I took it.
No matter the context, even if we were talking about race being a reason for some of the stuff happening, I have way too much respect for her and the women to put her in that universe he wrote on X. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Bill Maher? He's usually a piece of shit, but hey, he's talking about top topics in the world that are happening right now. He does that all the time. He talks about race all the time. He talks about, gender and stuff like that. So why wouldn't he cover this subject? And he does make a point. There are people that feel like this is. There are people that do feel like this has something to do with not so much the lesbian part and the straight part, but the race part. There are a lot of people that even felt that last year that Caitlin Clark was being pushed more because it's a white woman and there's better black women playing and stuff like that, which it's just an opinion. Some of the greatest college basketball players ever were like white guys and they didn't make it to the NBA, but they were very good in the system they were playing in college. It's a different system. There's not as much individual play. Playing with, she was a star who shot a lot, but she was playing within a system, and a system shines when you win the player of the year in college basketball, not so much the player. It really is like because of how they played in that way. It's the one. There are guys who didn't stand out as much in college who move up to the NBA and become superstars, and vice versa. Guys who stood out and only become role players or don't make it at all. So it's understandable in that way that you can say that white people sometimes play better within a system and a structure than black athletes who their whole lives have been playing one-on-one and street ball and stuff like that. I don't know so much with the women's game, but in the men's game, that's kind of what happens when they get over the men's thing, where it is just, yes, there's a kind of a structure in play and stuff like that. For the most part, you're just really basing it off the super talent that you have and being able to utilize every skill you have and having other people around you with their skills to help you utilize yours and theirs. So it changes that way. And Caitlin, we might find that out. But in the WNBA, nobody ever pays attention to this ever until this year because no one watched the shit until this year. You know what I mean? So is it the other guy, Welch, for going, hey, it's not race. What is the black person? It's not always a black person doing it. This isn't even a fun argument. Shut the fuck up, Welch. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even a fun. You can do a little better than that. It's like, if I was Welch, I would have just said, how do you know she's not a lesbo? It's probably a beard. She wants to get good advertising. Like, lean into that a little bit. Like, have you seen that guy? That guy looks gay as hell. And you're like, is he? Like, point to him. And then Trooper Proctor stands up and goes, gay. And then points at like, this guy's everywhere. This guy's good at pointing shit out. Is it Caitlin Clark? And I was not on this side, Bobby, and you've been on this side since day one. At this point, you just go, I would literally go out and say at a meeting, it's not a race. I'm done with this. It's not a race thing. It's not a sex thing. It's I'm better than fucking all of you thing. You know what? Enough. No one ever did this shit before. It's fine. But let you know right now, next one that hits me, I'll take it. I need a week off anyway. I'm going to hit you right in the goddamn face. Say it out loud.
Kick you in the cunt.
Go ahead. Suspend Caitlin Clark right now. I shouldn't even say that. He goes, go ahead and suspend me. And then you have fun returning all the tickets to your next game that everyone bought to see me. Sit me down so they can't watch me because they're going to like, we're here for the Caitlin Clark thing. It's kind of like, you heard about it, but a year ago, there was a bunch of people who got upset. They went to like a Philadelphia Eagles game. And there's a lot of women, they sold a ton of tickets. Not that they don't sell it anyway, but they asked for a lot of refunds. And why? Because these women were like, well, where's Taylor Swift? And they're like, well, the Chiefs aren't playing here. And they're like, what do you mean? It's NFL, and Taylor Swift does NFL because they don't even know what the words mean. Where's Taylor Swift? And they're like, well, she wouldn't be here. We want our money back. They said there was that Kelsey guy's here, and it's the brother, and they had the wrong one. And then all these like thousands of tickets had to be refunded because of this thing, because people are dopes and went there for the one thing. The same way people would just go to games for Caitlin Clark and not even know that she wasn't playing because she was suspended, and they would scream for their money back. You're here to see a game. And they wouldn't care. Who do you have?
No, that makes sense. No, that was going to be for my point.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you'll go ahead to you. So
take that down for a second if you don't mind.
No,
but
problem.
That's Sabrina Ionescu or whatever her name is. Yeah. That was the star before Caitlin Clark. Did you notice anything about her, Pat? Would you like me to put up?
Did she step
picture
Curry's
of-
goddaughter or whatever?
Would you like me to put up a picture of Diana Taurasi or Lisa Lobo? Or you get my point here? Matt Welsh is
Rebecca
100.
Lobo. But yeah, Lisa Lobo is probably some hot lady. And she's all mad right now. Like, what the fuck this?
The point being, it's not a race thing. Here's the great equalizer. They want to win. They want to win. Nobody
Who's they?
cares.
Whites?
No, anybody.
Oh.
It's not a fucking racial thing.
I know. That was
Jesus
fun.
Christ, beyond the shadow of a doubt. People want to win the sport. There's no race here. There's no sex here. If it was, it would be like kind of the NFL, where you would have guys like Riley Cooper hated by all the defensive back. Like it's they want to win basketball. Yes, and you're absolutely right. They pissed off Caitlin Clark. They did. I don't know if you saw the text that her coach leaked about her not making the Olympic team, where she's like, all right, game on, motherfuckers. She's pissed. It has nothing to do with race.
I didn't see that quote. I saw her actual quote where she didn't see upset, but I was happy to see that there's actually, she is a little upset. But
So
yeah.
she texted her coach and was like, Coach, they've woken up a monster. Shit changes tomorrow. And then the coach put it out, and now she's getting back. But the point being, like, it has nothing to do with white, black, blue, or lesbian. That nobody cares if she licks cunt or sucks dick. They care how she shoots a 3-pointer. And you know what? If I was playing against Caitlin Clark, if I was the coach for the other team, I would tell my players to take cheap shots because that's good coaching. If Caitlin Clark is injured or if she's off her game, it gives my team a better chance to win. The piece of shit in this story is Bill Maher. Oh, let's be a whiny cunt about something else, shouldn't we, Bill? Let's try to make an issue when there isn't one, Bill. Let's do a shitty wash-down version of The Daily Show and pretend I'm deep. Fuck you, Bill Maher.
V said, you're thinking about the angry sex with Caitlin.
I mean, maybe. But the point being, it's not a racial issue. Everybody gets hit. People just want to win basketball.
I'm sorry, before I get to my point, when we have celebrities in the chat, we have to at least acknowledge them. Chris Hansen's in the chat. How are you, sir? That's wonderful that Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator is there. And he's asking a question about a Connecticut comedian that I know of who's been accused of being a pedophile a long time ago. And he says he wasn't really a pedophile. He just didn't realize that she might have been closer to 17 than 18. And it was a long time ago and nothing really happened. This is what I heard allegedly. I don't know anything about it. But yeah, we don't want to have rumors like that going out there. But thank you, Mr. Hansen, for doing your research. Rather than being like Trooper Proctor and just pointing at people, you can't do that stuff. You know what I mean? That'd be awful. So convicted, accused, Hansen, that's not how you play. You just put him on TV. You let the courts decide, Chris Hansen. You're getting a little crazy. Anyway, Bobby, I disagree with you on this whole thing here. I do feel that this is something to do with women who feel like they should have been given this rub, that they should have been given this attention, and they're not because they don't fit the status quo. As much as people are saying we're pro LGBTQ and all that stuff, and we are, Black Lives Matter and all these things, when there's finally a cash cow. Yeah, now, yes, Caitlin Clark is super talented, and it's the right person to jump onto. Like, I think a lot of people feel like if the Magic Johnson in the late 70s might, even as talented as he was, if he didn't come in with Larry Bird, and you didn't have a white one and a black one, for people like the cushion of the white guy, for people that go, okay, there's two of them, I can root for one because he was openly racist, that maybe it wouldn't have worked that way. It did. If it was just Magic coming in, it wouldn't have been as, they might have not done the fanfare they did, which he deserved it. No, and it helped. But there were people who looked at them as good guy and bad guy. There really were. There were people who looked at it like the white guy is the good guy and the bad guy's in LA. It's like, okay, they're not good guy and bad guys. They're just two tremendous athletes. Caitlin Clark coming in being straight and white is, I hate to say it, even though we're in a day where everyone's pretending like, no. Have you seen commercials? Everyone's marketable now. No, it's not. What's the most marketable thing we can get? Middle America, the ones with money. We need someone to buy tickets. Who are they going to come see? Who do they want their daughter to come see and watch all the games? Wonderful straight white girl, Caitlin Clark from the middle of this country. Not saying that is the truth. But if you are a Diana Taurasi, or you are a Brittany Griner, or you are any of these stars that Cheryl Swoops back in the day, all these people that did not get, they got fanfare a little bit, but never this type of thing. Why didn't you do that for us? Is it because we don't play for the side that you think is safe? You don't think there was a side that we think is fun? So to me, the piece of shit in this story is not Bill Maher. Bill Maher, I think, is actually putting up a right point for the conversation. It's the players who are, instead of just playing harder, improving, like we've talked about this many times with Caitlin Clark, take her one-on-one. Fucking come up. There's so many players that can do that. Her D stinks. Fucking you got the world watching. Break this girl's ankles with a crossover. You know, not that they're going to be dunking shit like that, but they do. I know everybody shits on them. They do have the ability. There are really good ball handlers in that league. Make her look stupid and then be like, yeah, a lesbian black woman just did that to you. Make your statement and then make other people have the conversation. You're like, well, that doesn't matter. Some advertisers are going to have to jump on that and go, we respect this person for their playing, not with, and all of a sudden you've got like a Charles Barkley, I'm not your role model type thing. That's what they should be doing with Caitlin Clark right now. It should be the Charles Barkley thing all over again. I'm not a role model. And just come out and doing that whole thing. Make it Doug.
But
go hard.
Only one person has done that, and it's the girl I just showed, Sabrina. She came out and was like, I'm super happy Caitlin's bringing all this attention to the league. It's going to be great. And then the first game they played, the highlight clip going around was literally Sabrina juking Caitlin out of her shoes and hitting a 3 in her face.
The girl from New York did that too. And it kind of the same thing. She came out at the whole press conference and they said, what do you think of this? Are you upset about it? She goes, oh, being in front of a sold out crowd. Yeah. Real pissed off.
And
it's terrible. I get to show off my talent as being the best player in this league in front of crowds that think she is. There are some that have done that. But then again, Bobby, I hate to say it, they're white girls that are being allowed that quote. That's what Angel Reese and all of them are getting mad about. The black women aren't being heard. Now, they're not saying the right quotes either. They're not doing it in the way we're saying. And their argument is, well, so we're not talking the way we're supposed to? Are we being controlled again? It's that catty shit that Bill Maher is talking about. He actually is right in this sense for the first time ever in his life. It's cattiness. It is fucking bickering shit.
It's not racial, though. Like, I would believe the
he leaned into the lesbian thing too. I think there is some racism to it. I do feel there is some racial to it, but yeah.
But my point being, like, I don't think it's divided drawing line. Like, you could tell who was a Magic fan and a Larry Bird fan pretty easily back in the day, whereas I don't think it's that cut and dry. Like, I don't think the African-American community has claimed Angel Reese as their champion. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's us against you.
On Twitter, on certain things, they have said that she's the better rookie, and it's not, and she's not.
I mean, no, that's obvious. Just look at stats. But
no, but they're saying because it's the black girl. It's like, I mean, Swin Cash was an amazing college basketball player. And when she came out, people were like, her game is incredible. But there was no push rocket ship behind Swin Cash. There was players every year that come out that are African American that there is no rocket. All of a sudden this year, yes, she broke scoring record, but before there were other people. There were people that at the time were the most dominant, and you heard their names, but that rocket was not launched to them. Now, maybe it's just the right place, right time, whatever. Maybe the NBA was like, I really feel like this is an NBA thing. I think they were like, we're tired of losing money. The next one that looks decent, let's just make it look like a superstar. Like, we need to fucking try something here. We need a Jordan to save like we got saved, to really change this and make this global. Because there are a lot of women in Europe that could be good. If we could convince all of them to also promote their people, then we can get the world to care and sell more merch, because we're in the hole. We're losing money every fucking year. So I really do think it was them just kind of going, I'm not saying she's not good, but I really think they were just like, I don't give a fuck who it is. Whoever the next big one, because I think if Caitlyn got hurt this year, I bet you Paige Bruckner would have come out and they would have said, she's the greatest thing in the world. Just needed to push something that's marketable. Today, we need to sell fucking tickets. We've lost money for 20 fucking years.
I think she's that talented. I think we're about to find out how good Caitlyn is. I think it's going to be some fun basketball here to come.
Oh, fuck. Damn it. I'm already sitting down too, Chris. God damn it. All right, I got to have a seat. I didn't know.
I like how Terry said I was 7 out of 10 for believability.
Yeah. You did have it. You had a better case. But I it's not fun if I don't do devil's advocate.
No. I like that he was like, no, we don't believe that you don't think this is racial, Bobby. Like you 70% convinced us.
As well. That's our ace
tried.
reporter right there.
I also hate Bill Maher. I think he's a pompous douche.
V agrees.
Yeah. Like I respect Chapo Trap House more than I do Bill Maher because at least they tell you what they are.
Chapo Trap House.
Isn't that what it's called?
Are you talking about Trooper Cobra?
No. The liberal podcast counterpart to come.
I was like, are we still bringing up Trooper Proctor? Now you're calling him Trap
House. Get Trooper Cobra on the Chapo Trap House. That'd be a fun pod.
Dude, we should get Trooper Proctor to show up at WNBA games and just point out and go, all right, where's the lesbians? There's too many. Can I just point to the straight one? There's like 3.
That would be amazing.
Why can't she play defense? Does she have a leaky balloon knot?
I also think Matt Welsh is the man, so that's part of it too. He used to come in all the time. We would talk. He's a nice guy. Smokes good weed.
Nice. And I can't wait to see if Terry Nee makes our voices go real high later as we're going, you're retarded, you're retarded, you're retarded, you're retarded.
I would love that. Thank you for doing that, Terry. And thank you for all the support to all you guys. Kish, you're the man. We saw you retweet us, Chris Abels.
He's not in today, but Abels has been retweeting us. We really appreciate it, man. We're trying to grow this thing up a little bit. Thank you for some of you to come over. Not as many came over here. I know Bobby's got on his thing too. But we really need it. We'll get back to the part where we stream it everywhere. We just really need to build up the hours watched so we can get the super chats and monetization and stuff like that. So we're asking if you guys can just please watch the show just on this POS Mornings YouTube channel for a little bit. Subscribe to that. It would really help a lot. If you can't, we will still start putting it up for the first hour, and sometimes we'll leave it the whole time. We just need once in a while to get that boost up. We're getting close. I'm not going to buy fucking hours. I'm not doing that bullshit. We're having fun with this show. I love where it's going. You take this show from where we started in February, this morning process, and where we're gone to, I think it's fucking getting better in all the fucking time, and I'm just really enjoying it, but I want to do more with it. So, and we love that you guys are part of it, and it's great, but we just need to get more. So we just need people over there to do that shit. And for you guys to tell people, hey, go subscribe to their channel. It's, I think the best way to subscribe to our show, and I'm not comparing ourselves to them in any way, but if you missed those not safe for work morning radio shows in the 90s and early 2000s, we're kind of bringing that. It's a morning show. We're bringing the news up, but we're doing it in a way where we don't give a fuck what we say and have fun with it. And people like that in the morning. They don't want that morning shit all the time. Some people do. It has its place. But we're bringing something that's different, and we're not just yelling crazy shit in the morning. We're literally doing it with a structure, which is not bad. So we appreciate all you guys and your support. So please like, subscribe, and let people know about this. And please watch it on this channel. Bobby, you got anything else you want to promote?
I told you where to see me. Head over, make sure you're subscribed. We need those hours. This has been a lot of fun, especially if you look back to when we were doing nights.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, we've come so far. So please make sure you check it out. I already told you my thing about the sails and the wind. You can't control the wind, but you can control how you set your sails. And on that note, Pat, what else do you have to plug?
The main thing I want to plug right now, besides you guys liking, subscribing, and all those fun things, Patreon, I've said all that stuff before. It's all underneath. But one thing that's also underneath is Bobby and I will be performing in Wethersfield in Connecticut the last weekend of June. So the end of this month, June 28th and 29th. Thank you, V, for subbing and liking. You're the best. We're there in Connecticut. It's going to be fun shows, one show each night. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the guy named Mike Massaro is hosting. Very funny fucking guy. I think a lot of you guys will like his humor and what he brings to the table too. It'll be a great show. And if you're somebody who can't make it to the album recording in August, you'll see basically a month away what the album's going to basically be with what's the structure in it, and be able to check that out and watch it. We would love you guys to be part of it. August 8th, 9th, and 10th will be the one we want you guys to come out and be at the casinos, because we'll be all there like during the day and night. We're hanging out for 3 days, and we can just chill with you guys, have fun while we're at the casino, have some good times. Maybe even do Friday morning. We'll do the podcast from there. If you guys are around, we'll just do it like kind of a live thing, like not like somewhere we're crazy, but make it fun. If we have some people there, if not, we'll just do it from a room or whatever. But either way, we'd like you to be part of that stuff. But right now, if you could buy tickets, it's on comedycraftbeer.com. That is for the June 28th and 29th. That's not for the album recording. That is just going to be a weekend of shows. That's going to be a lot of fun. But it's 2 chances. Bobby and I don't get to perform a lot together. So this is kind of cool. We're doing this in a couple of shows here. And if you live in any area that you know of the comedy clubs, just hit them up and be like, hey, we would like you guys gonna have Pat Oates and Bobby Tamburo at your club, and they'll be like, oh, we don't know who they are. Of course you know. Be like, oh, they're hilarious. You should have them come. They come together. They have a podcast. Don't mention the podcast. Some clubs don't want to hear the name of the podcast. But anyway, just let them know, and then we can go perform in that area. We'd love to go anywhere. We'd love to travel around the country. We just need clubs to fucking want to book us. And since we're not Instagram and TikTok stars, I have no dance moves. We need people that call them up and say, or message them and say like, hey, we want to see these guys. A lot of the smaller clubs will do that. They're like, oh, 3 people will go. We're not selling any tickets. We give them away. If we guarantee 5 tickets sold, somebody will give us a Thursday. It's like, they will. They'll give us an off night. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. If they feel like people would call and go, they'll be like happy to sell something because most of them on their off nights are giving away free tickets. So all it needs is to think someone's going to go. So just we appreciate your guys' support all the time. So for everyone today, first of all, thank you so much to Chris Hansen. It's amazing you took time off everything you do to come here and watch our show. It's great. But all seriousness, Edge Funhouse, dude, you were awesome during the court thing there. We really liked your things. Kish is always the best. V, Terry, Nee. What am I missing up top at the beginning that was in there? We had a bunch of people today.
Kevin G.
There was another. What?
Kevin's in there a bunch.
Kevin was amazing, as always.
Jim Grindle.
Grindle, Frosted Tip of Grindle was great today. Hey, Grindle, congratulations on your Husey Award today. You killed it. So we love all you. Bobby.
If you can't join him, beat him.
And we'll see you. Oh, sorry about my bad. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Same bad time, same bad channels. We'll put them everywhere at first. But if you guys could all start coming here, we wouldn't have to put them in the other places. But go ahead.
Tomorrow morning, same bad time, same bad channel. Don't be a piece of shit.
Dun, dun, dun.